I have 7 overbearing stepmothers. When you're recognized as the son-in-law by 7 breathtakingly beautiful, unparalleled stepmothers, it's call mom when you need something, call your sister when you don't. Living off the soft life is sweet, but living off the soft life with some effort is even sweeter. Chapter 1, 7 Mothers-in-Law. Never would I have imagined this old man was such a big shot back in the day, and these 7 ex-girlfriends. On the plane, Lin Fan looked at the photo in front of him and couldn't help but sigh. Lin Fan was an orphan, adopted by the eccentric old man, Lin Changshan, who lived in the mountains. Although the old man was somewhat unorthodox, he was a real expert. Under Lin Changshan's guidance, Lin Fan received a well-rounded education, mastering various skills, including defense, assassination, and medicine. Lin Fan was deeply grateful for Lin Changshan's teachings, and Lin Changshan, in turn, was pleased with Lin Fan's talent. Their relationship was more of a half-master, half-father bond. However, Lin Changshan always had a penchant for teasing widows, and because of this, Lin Fan could never bring himself to call him godfather. Instead, he always referred to him as the old man. After successfully dismantling the Silver Triangle armed tribe and returning home, Lin Changshan suddenly handed Lin Fan a photo. Go see the outside world. These are your 7 godmothers. They'll be at the airport to pick you up. And so, Lin Fan boarded a plane to Lingyun City, looking forward to a peaceful life. TCH, with your country bumpkin look, it's already impressive if you even know one of them. As Lin Fan immersed himself in thoughts of a bright future, a sharp, mocking voice suddenly came from next to him. Lin Fan turned to glance at the girl sitting beside him, then frowned and said, "Who gave you that face job? Your nose is almost collapsed, and the jawline shaping isn't done properly. If you don't get it fixed soon, you'll probably start having side effects." The girl's expression darkened. She had indeed undergone cosmetic surgery, but she would never allow anyone to talk about it. "What did you say? You dare slander me? I'm just speaking the truth. You'd better go see a doctor. You, flight attendant." The girl was furious and yelled. "I guess it's your first time flying, right? Press the button if you need help," Lin Fan said, raising his hand to press the call button. Soon, a flight attendant came over and stood next to Lin Fan, asking, "Excuse me, sir, is there anything I can help with?" "It's not me, it's that plastic surgery girl." Lin Fan pointed to the girl across from him. The flight attendant was taken aback, looked at the girl behind her, and then politely asked, "May I ask what the problem is, Maram?" "There is a problem, and it's a big one. Get him out of here. He actually said I had plastic surgery." "Since when can't you tell the truth?" Lin Fan said helplessly. "You just make him change seats." "I'm sorry, Maram, unless the gentleman agrees, we can't change seats. Just ignore him, go back to whatever you were doing. I'm going to take a nap." With that, Lin Fan put the photo in his pocket and closed his eyes. When Lin Fan opened his eyes again, the plane had landed. He picked up his checked luggage and stood at the airport exit, waiting silently. "That's the country bumpkin. Zhongxiao, teach him a lesson." The voice he had argued with on the plane came back, but this time it was aimed at him. "Kid, so you're the one bullying my Momo, huh? Look at you, dressed so poor, trying to act all tough." A rich young man shoved Lin Fan, his face full of arrogance. Lin Fan was taken aback. This guy actually pushed him? Well, whatever, he thought, better let it go to avoid causing any trouble before meeting his godmothers. "I'm just speaking the truth. Her plastic surgeon really messed up. If she doesn't get it treated soon, her face will start having issues in less than 3 years. How dare you talk about Momo's plastic surgery? Get him?" In an instant, 6 bodyguards led by Zhongxiao surrounded Lin Fan. "You're really going to make a move?" Lin Fan asked in surprise. "What's the problem with hitting you? Get him? Stop. Who dares touch S son?" Just then, a woman walked over, surrounded by bodyguards. She pushed aside Zhongxiao's bodyguards and directly hugged Lin Fan, happily saying, "Xiao Fan, finally found you. I'm your third godmother, Xu Miayan." "Hello, third mom," Lin Fan said in surprise. According to the old man, his third godmother should be in her 40s, but she looked like she was in her 30s, well maintained. Was this even better than the widow Liu from the village? Lin Fan couldn't understand what the old man was thinking. "Good boy." Xu Miayan smiled at Lin Fan, then her expression darkened as she looked at Zhang Xiao. So you're the one trying to bully son? Zhang Xiao was stunned. He never expected this country bumpkin's godmother to be Xu Miayan. This was just too mismatched. Yeah, I'm bullying you, what are you going to do about it? Hit me. The plastic surgery girl, still unaware of what kind of person she was messing with, arrogantly looked at Xu Miayan. Slap. Zhang Xiao swung his hand and slapped the girl across the face. She staggered back, holding her face in disbelief. Zhang Xiao, you hit the wrong person. I hit you, you idiot. Zhang Xiao immediately switched to a flattering tone, saying, Hello, Chairwoman Xu, my father is Zhang Qian from Zhang Group. I had the honor of meeting you at a gathering before. Stop trying to butter me up. You dare bully son? I'll make sure your Zhang Group goes bankrupt. No, Chairwoman Xu, I'm sorry. Zhang Xiao immediately dropped to his knees. He knew that if Xu Miayan, the richest person in the world, wanted to ruin his family, it would take just one phone call. The plastic surgery girl was shocked. How could Zhang Xiao, who always acted so high and mighty, kneel to this woman? Who was she? Xiaofan, how should we deal with them? I don't care. The old man said not to cause trouble and to avoid creating issues for the godmothers. You child. The godmothers are more worried about you causing trouble than you are. Xiao Liu, keep an eye on this kid. He has to kneel here all day before he can leave. Otherwise, I'll have Zhang Group go bankrupt. Yes. Although Lin Fan knew his 7 godmothers were exceptional, he never expected his third godmother to be this fierce. In the astonished gaze of everyone, Lin Fan followed Xu Miayan and got into a long Rolls-Royce, which drove off. Inside the car, Xu Miayan couldn't help but smile as she looked at Lin Fan. Xiao Fan, how have you been in the mountains? Do you have a girl you like? Oh. I'm single. Then what kind of girl do you like? Your godmother will introduce one to you. I like someone like third mom. Such sweet words. Well, it's good you like someone like me. I have a daughter who has inherited all my good traits. Should I arrange something for you too? Lin Fan was stunned. Could this really happen? But if it worked out, wouldn't he third mom become his mother-in-law? If each of his 7 godmothers had a daughter. 7 mothers-in-law? As he thought about the 7 stunning godmothers in the photo, and imagined the 7 daughters being even more exceptional than them, Lin Fan couldn't help but bleed from his nose. Chapter 2, Zhang Mingchu's Disaster. At the entrance of Tianhua Hotel, Lin Fan slowly got out of the car. As he gazed at the opulent hotel, he couldn't help but feel a bit shocked. Why did this old man arrange a task for me but not a proper place to stay? Silver Triangle, Zelia, don't even talk about hotels. Staying at a guesthouse there would be considered a luxury. What's the matter? Xiaofan, do you like this hotel? Although it's the best in Lingyun, I only bought it temporarily for hosting guests. If you like it, I can have the contract sent over now as a welcome gift. A hotel as a welcome gift. No need, 3 mom, you're too kind. I was just taking a look. Oh, if there's anything you like, just tell me. There's nothing in this world that 3 mom can't buy. When they entered the private room, 3 women had already been waiting for a while. As soon as they saw Lin Fan, it was as if they were seeing their own son. Xiaofan, I'm your second mom, call me second mom. I'll make sure no one dares to bully you in the future. I'll take care of it. I'm your 6th mom. I heard you're skilled in medicine. If you have time, how about coming with me to treat some patients and make some extra money? I say, 6th sister, if Xiaofan wants money, I'll give it to him directly. Why make him work so hard? Xu Miayan said. After a brief understanding, Lin Fan finally grasped the identities of his 7 moms. First mom He Menjing, nicknamed the Phantom of the Military, held a pivotal position in the military and controlled 2 of the top special forces units in China. She couldn't make it today because she was on a mission, but she said she would come back as soon as the task was over. Second mom Mai Qingwu, a top star in film, television, and music, with a trophy collection full of Cannes awards, was recognized as the dream lover of 3 generations, from young to old. Third mom Xu Miayan, the world's wealthiest person, with countless assets and substantial shares in many top-tier companies. Fourth mom Kong Yao, the leader of the world's mercenary and assassination organizations. There was no life she couldn't take if she wanted to. She had specially flown in from abroad when she heard that Lin Fan was coming and was expected to arrive tonight. Sixth mom Zhang Qing, a world-renowned divine doctor. The viral vaccines that had shaken the world were all developed by her. Seventh mom Lu Man, the gambling queen, who always believed that everything could be decided on the gambling table. Once at the gambling table, she was the true king. Her excuse for not coming was that she had to win the welcome gift before she could show up. After hearing about these incredible women, Lin Fan was left with the feeling of being in a dream. With these 7 ladies, how could the old man still not be overjoyed? And yet, these 7 stunning women had no interest in him, and instead, he stayed in the village flirting with widows. After an unknown amount of time, his phone rang again. This time, sixth mom Zhang Qing didn't hang up. Lin Fan could tell that the ringtone was completely different from the one she had earlier. Hello? I know, I'm on my way. What's going on, sixth sister? Is there a problem at the hospital? Second mom Mai Qingwu asked. Did someone cause trouble? Do you need me to bring some people to help out? Li Mai Gui asked. It should be a small matter. There's been a medical accident at Chichi's place. I have to go back and fix it. Zhang Qing explained. Since it's one of our girls' business, you should go quickly. Xu Mian said. Well, I've already eaten, so maybe I can go and have a look. At this moment, Lin Fan, who had hardly spoken before, suddenly spoke up. You want to go, Xiao Fan? That's fine. Maybe you can help me out a bit. The doctors at the hospital aren't up to my standards. Zhang Qing nodded. Seeing that Lin Fan might step in, the other 3 moms looked a bit excited. They immediately cancelled their following plans and prepared to join in the fun. When they walked out of the hotel, deciding which mom's car Lin Fan should take became a dilemma. In the expectant gazes of the 4 women, Lin Fan finally decided to ride with Xu Mian, which solved the awkward situation. Upon arriving at the hospital, they hadn't walked far when they heard the shouting and cursing of the patient's family outside the operating room. They were fine when they arrived, but now the patient is in critical condition after the surgery. Are you even a doctor? I'm going to file a complaint. You can complain to me, but do you want to complain first or save the patient first? Zhang Qing frowned and approached. Mom. Zhang Wenqi called weakly. Seeing sixth mom's daughter, Lin Fan couldn't help but click his tongue. He thought their moms were already the best, but Zhang Qing's daughter was even more beautiful. Although she was wearing a doctor's outfit, Lin Fan thought it was even more vibrant than a nurse's uniform. So, you're the scum doctor's mom. I can see you're all the same kind of people. Let me ask you, my old man was fine when he came in, how did he end up like this after surgery? What kind of hospital are you running? He was brought in by ambulance. Don't tell me the ambulance outside isn't yours. Lin Fan said, feeling speechless. Is this person here for treatment, or is she just here to cause trouble? What's your problem? How dare you talk back to me? The elderly woman from the family glared at Lin Fan. All right, everyone calm down. Saving the patient is the most important thing, right? A young man in a suit spoke up. If he hadn't spoken, Lin Fan wouldn't have even noticed his existence. You are? Lin Fan asked in surprise. Hello, I'm Zhang Qing's boyfriend, Song Qiao. Who recognized you as her boyfriend? Go away. Don't even think that Chichi agrees, and even if she does, I won't agree. Xiao Fan, come help me. Okay. Lin Fan gave Song Qiao a smug look before following Zhang Qing into the operating room. Zhang Wenqi looked at Lin Fan in confusion. Why would her mom let this young man help? Could it be that his medical skills were that remarkable? With that doubt, Zhang Wenqi also followed into the operating room. Once the door was closed, Lin Fan and Zhang Qing quickly assessed the situation. Zhang Qing sighed helplessly and said, the patient's vital signs are critical. Although we can keep them going for a while, the patient has panda blood, and the blood bank can't supply enough. I'm afraid, it might be too late. Well, if it's just a blood issue, I can solve it. Lin Fan suddenly said. Chapter 3, Drive him away. In an instant, Zhang Qing and her daughter and the 2 female nurses beside them all looked at Lin Fan. He actually said yes. Could it be that he has panda blood? Such a large dose of blood transfusion alone would not be enough. Zhang Qing is a medical authority. If she says there is no way, then there is no way. Besides, don't they know how much plasma is in the hospital? Do you have a solution? Do you have panda blood? Zhang Qing asked expectantly. I don't have panda blood, but I can stimulate hematopoietic stem cells through traditional Chinese medicine techniques to speed up the work, so that the patient's own blood production can be accelerated. However, the maintenance time is very short, at most 10 minutes, otherwise it will be life-threatening. Are you kidding? How can the operation be completed in 10 minutes? And even if it is possible, can those things in traditional Chinese medicine really be used clinically? Zhang Wenqi frowned. 10 minutes is the follow-up. In the early stage, I will use silver needles to protect the patient's heart pulse to keep him alive. Later, I will use needles to stimulate the hematopoietic stem cells. If that's the case, we can give it a try. Come on, Xiaofan, sixth mother believes in you? Zhang Wenqi looked at Zhang Qing in surprise, thinking, is my mother crazy? She actually believed this young man who was almost her age. Half an hour later, the lights in the operating room were turned off, and Lin Fan and Zhang Qing slowly walked out of the operating room. Did it fail? Alas, humans are fragile after all. Song Qiao sighed. Failed. Give me back my life, the old lady yelled and tried to grab Zhang Qing's collar. Lin Fan immediately flashed in front of Zhang Qing and stopped the old lady. He frowned and said, it's really strange. We are surgeons, but you listen to him. What? Are you hired by him? You're talking nonsense. Lin Fan ignored the old lady and turned to look at Song Qiao and asked, why do you say you failed? Do you really want people to die? Of course not. I just think that even Lingyun Hospital may not have much panda blood in stock, so. Having said this, Song Qiao suddenly realized something was wrong and quickly shut his mouth. Did you tell him that the patient has panda blood? Lin Fan looked at Zhang Wenqi and asked. Zhang Wenqi frowned and looked at Song Qiao. The panda blood and the attitude of the patient's family alone explained a lot of problems. Please go out, you are not welcome here. Zhang Wenqi said with a sullen face. Chichi, please listen to my explanation. No need to explain, please get out. Song Qiao glanced at Lin Fan viciously, only to find that Lin Fan was now surrounded by several beautiful women and enjoying praise. Xiaofan is really amazing, he solved the case in no time. Yes, from what sixth sister said, Xiaofan has been a great help. He really deserves to be my godson. You're not leaving yet. Zhang Qing frowned. Song Qiao glared at Lin Fan again, as if to remember his appearance, and then turned and left. Xiaofan, your Chinese medicine skills are really different. It just so happens that I have to leave for a while because of an exchange meeting, and I am not very confident in Chichi's medical skills. Why don't you just stay at my house and give Chichi some advice? Mom. Shut up. If it weren't for Xiaofan, you would have been in big trouble today. Go back and thank Xiaofan properly, okay? Oh. Sixth sister, are you trying to run away secretly? Xu Mian gave Zhang Qing a blank look. It's called first come, first served. Xiaofan, you should stay at 6th Mars place for the time being. If you need anything, just tell Chichi. You are a little older than Chichi, so you should take good care of Chichi in the days ahead. Okay. After get off work, Zhang Wenqi drove Lin Fan home. On their way, she couldn't understand why such a bumpkin could become his mother's godson. Your name is Chichi, right? Zhang Wenqi, please call me by my full name. How old are you? Is your father's last name Zhang? Or did he take your sixth mother's last name? Is it your business? Zhang Wenqi said dissatisfiedly. Sixth mother said I'm older than you, why don't you call me brother? Seeing that Zhang Wenqi didn't say anything, Lin Fan stopped talking and couldn't help whistling while leaning against the car door. Zhang Wenqi was becoming increasingly dissatisfied with Lin Fan, and she even whistled at him. It was becoming increasingly vulgar. Etc. This whistle is so shameless. What are you bragging about? Zhang Wenqi frowned. I don't know. My old man often plays it. He also said that playing it is a way of praising beautiful women. Do you know this song? Lin Fan said blankly. I don't know. Zhang Wenqi glared at Lin Fan fiercely, thinking in her heart that she must drive Lin Fan away as soon as possible. After returning home, Zhang Wenqi went straight back into his room and locked the door, as if he was afraid that Lin Fan would do something bad to him. Lin Fan didn't care at all and thought that Zhang Minqi was just shy. After watching TV for a while, Lin Fan stretched and ran to the bathroom to take a shower and rest. Just when Lin Fan was halfway through his rush, the bathroom door suddenly opened. Before Lin Fan could react, a scream rang out. Bang! The bathroom door was slammed shut, and then Zhang Minqi's dissatisfied voice came in. Why aren't you wearing any clothes? Nonsense, I'm taking a shower. Why are you taking a shower and getting dressed? Lin Fan said speechlessly. Anyway, come out now, I need to go to the bathroom. Oh. Lin Fan had no choice but to simply wipe his body and walked out wrapped in a bath towel. When looking at the bath towel on Lin Fan, Zhang Minqi frowned and asked, Who told you to use this bath towel? That's it. I have no other choice. You, forget it, I don't want this bath towel anymore. After saying that, Zhang Minqi went straight into the bathroom. Lin Fan shrugged and turned back into the room. Looking at his well-proportioned muscles in the mirror, Lin Fan couldn't help but touch his chin. Would Zhang Minqi be attracted to him after seeing his proud figure just now? Of course, this was just Lin Fan's delusion. After all, because of Zhang Qing, Zhang Minqi had been an intern in the operating room since she was 18 years old, and had 3 years of experience as a chief surgeon. What kind of men had she not seen? 8-pack abs have no appeal to him at all. After this incident, Zhang Minqi became even more determined to drive Lin Fan away. The next morning, Lin Fan sat quietly in the living room. When he saw Zhang Minqi, he greeted her, Hey, get up. Get ready and let's go eat. Are you a parasite? Can't you do it yourself? Zhang Minqi was already dissatisfied with Lin Fan, so naturally she wouldn't have anything nice to say at this time. I was thinking, the refrigerator is cleaner than my face, what for? Then go out and eat by yourself. I want to, but I don't have the key. Zhang Minqi sighed helplessly, packed up simply, and took Lin Fan to the breakfast shop opposite the community to eat something. However, when the two were about to leave the breakfast shop, a group of people surrounded the entrance of the breakfast shop. Chapter 4, One is more domineering than the other. Zhang Minqi looked at this group of ferocious people and subconsciously took a step back, with a hint of fear in her eyes. Who are you? Do you have something to do with us? Lin Fan stepped forward and stood in front of Zhang Minqi, looking at the gangster in front of him and said. Seeing that Lin Fan was protecting her behind him, Zhang Minqi's opinion of Lin Fan changed a little. At least she no longer hated him as much as before. I have something to ask of you. What do you want? Lin Fan asked curiously. I want your 2 legs. It's 3. Damn it. I thought Zhang Minqi was some kind of jade girl, but I didn't expect her to be so rotten. Brother Laolang, help me cripple all 3 legs of this kid. Double the price. Song Qiao originally wanted to send Zhang Minqi to work in the morning and explain what happened the day before, but he didn't expect Zhang Minqi to come out with Lin Fan. Song Qiao concluded that the two had been together the night before, so he made a phone call and was determined to get rid of Lin Fan. Song Qiao, are you sick? How dare you find someone to block us? Zhang Minqi asked with frowned brows. Don't talk to me, you bastard. The money has been transferred. Go ahead. Okay, I, Lao Lang, will do anything for money. I am the most honest person on the street. Brothers, get started. Wait a minute. Lin Fan said hurriedly. What? Begging for mercy? Then you have to ask young Master Song. Old Wolf said with an evil smile. You little bastard, I won't let you go even if you kneel down and beg for mercy now. Song Qiao said viciously. Who is begging for mercy? You just said you are from the Underworld. Do you have any power? Don't let the flood wash away the Dragon King Temple. Har har, are you trying to get close to me? I'm from the 9th Street. Who in the whole Lingyun city doesn't know me, Old Wolf? There are really not many people who need my respect. Lin Fan nodded, then took out his cell phone and dialed. Hello, good morning. What's the name of the force? Have you heard of the old man from 9th Street? Oh, you don't know him, right? It's okay. I was surrounded when I was having breakfast. Where? It's the breakfast shop opposite Liu Mar's house. After Lin Fan hung up the phone, Lao Lang burst into laughter and said, You are pretending quite well, huh? I have never heard of anyone with this name in the Underworld, and everyone in Lingyun City knows me, Lao Lang. I'll be right there. Do you want to wait and see? Lin Fan said with a smile. Okay, I'll see what kind of stuff you can call, said the old wolf arrogantly. Soon, a convoy of Mercedes-Benz cars drove towards them and slowly stopped behind the door of the breakfast shop. A man in a suit slowly walked out of the Maybach car in the middle and slowly walked into the crowd. The men's younger brothers were all wearing suits, and you could tell how many levels apart they were from the level they were in. Tiger. Lord Tiger? Why are you here? I'm the little wolf, and I toasted you before. The old wolf at this moment was completely different from before. There was no trace of arrogance anymore, only endless flattery. However, the man in the suit ignored him. After looking around, he looked at Lin Fan and asked, "Excuse me, are you Lin Fan?" "I am, you are." "Hello, Mr. Lin, my name is Dai Hu, and Sister Rose asked me to come here." "Master Tiger, right. I don't deserve it. Just call me Xiaohu, Mr. Lin," Dai Hu said respectfully. Old Wolf was completely dumbfounded when he saw this scene. The all-powerful underground emperor actually only dared to call himself Little Tiger in front of this kid. Who is this guy? Oh, right, I think Tiger Lord just said Sister Rose. There is only one person that Taihu can call Sister Rose. Just as I was thinking about it, a Ferrari slowly stopped at the door, and then a dignified and elegant woman walked out of the car in an elegant manner. Her long legs seemed to be able to step directly over the door. Who is it? Who is bullying my son? When he saw the person coming, the old wolf's legs went weak and he knelt on the ground. "Sister Rose, I was wrong, please forgive me." Bang! Daihu fiercely kicked Lao Lang and said gloomily, "Did you call Sister Rose?" "Aunt Rose." Zhang Minqi greeted politely and then looked at Lin Fan, saying speechlessly, "Is it necessary for you to call Aunt Rose for such a small matter? I was just asking if it was his subordinate, so I could be gentler if it was him. Who knew he would come straight at me? Besides, why were you so scared just now?" I didn't." Zhang Minqi's face turned red and she turned her head away. "Why, are you two still having a quarrel? Only a fool would think he and she are couple." Zhang Minqi pouted. After saying that, Zhang Minqi's gaze couldn't help but linger for a moment as she passed by the clock next to her. "Oh no, I'm going to be late for work. Xiao Hu, arrange for someone to take Chichi to work. Xiao Fan, your aunt and fourth aunt both arrived in Lingyun last night, but they didn't call you because it was too late. It's just right for me to pick you up today. Let's go, don't let your aunt and fourth aunt wait anxiously." Before leaving, Li Maigui suddenly thought of the old wolf beside her, turned to look at Lin Fan and said, "Xiao Fan, how are you going to deal with this?" "I don't know the rules either, just let me watch you." "Okay, then we'll break one leg each as a lesson." After saying that, Li Maigui took Lin Fan's hand and left. When the old wolf heard that he was going to have a leg broken, instead of being afraid, he felt relieved. That's Li Maigui. We'll be lucky enough to keep her life. "What are you doing?" "I'm Song Qiao. Do you know who my father is?" Song Qiao pointed at Dai Hu and his group and questioned. "Your father is Li Gang? What does that have to do with me?" "Get started." Dai Hu doesn't care about all this. Since Sister Rose has given the order, he dares to break even the leg of the Lord. Thinking of Li Meigui's words about the young couple, Dai Hu took the initiative to say that although it was a disabled leg, Song Qiao's leg was different from those of others. "R." Song Qiao let out a scream and then fainted. After handling it, Dai Hu looked at Lao Lang with a sullen face and said, "Remember, that young Master Lin is Sister Rose's godson. Although Sister Rose only said to break one of your legs, I don't think it's enough. If I see you in Lingyun City tomorrow, you will die." After saying that, Dai Hu turned around and left with his men. On the other side, Lin Fan and Li Maigui came to Qianhua Hotel. After entering the private room, they saw two heroic and intellectual beauties. "This is Xiao Fan? He is so handsome. Maybe 20 years earlier I would have looked down on Lin Changshan and fallen in love with our Xiao Fan instead," Fourth Mother Kong Yao said while touching Lin Fan's head. "Don't mention that old thing, it's unlucky," Auntie Menjin said dissatisfiedly. Yes, don't mention him." Lin Fan was stunned. It seemed that the old man had hurt these godmothers deeply in the past. "Auntie, I heard that you have a mission to complete. Don't you need to go back and report?" Lin Fan asked. "Normally they are needed, but it's not as important as our Xiaofan's coming. Let them wait." Lin Fan smiled bitterly. These godmothers were more domineering than the other. Chapter 5, Hitting the Wall. In Lingyun City Hospital. A middle-aged man looked at his unconscious son on the hospital bed with a very gloomy expression. Your son is already in such a state, what are you doing as the mayor? A middle-aged woman cried and accused. That's enough. All you do is cry every day, said the man with a sullen face. Dad. Song Chiao slowly opened his eyes and cried out weakly. Dad's here, what's wrong? Dad, you have to avenge me. It was Lin Fan who had someone kill me. Lin Fan? Who is that? Song Chiao's father Song Kinder couldn't help but frown. How come he had never heard of this name? He is Zhang Mingqi's lover. He left in Ling 55,555's car. I understand. I will take care of this matter. The doctor has already scheduled the surgery. Song Chiao grabbed Song Kinder's wrist and said excitedly, I want revenge, I want them to have the same fate as me. Okay, Dad will help you destroy them now. After saying that, Song Kinder directly called the traffic security system and retrieved the location of Ling 55,555's car through monitoring. After determining the location, Song Kinder went directly to Qianhua Hotel. With the help of his identity, Song Kinder quickly locked onto the room where Lin Fan was, and then kicked the door open, only to find that a young man about the same age as his son was surrounded by three beautiful women, tasting the delicious food brought to him by the three women. All right, you're openly engaging in improper sexual relations in a hotel, arrest him. What did you say? Believe it or not, I will tear your mouth apart. Li Maigui said in a deep voice. Okay, you dare to openly insult state civil servants, take them all away. Song Kinder did not recognize Li Meigui's identity for a moment. After all, Li Meigui's identity was not something that could be made public. You should be thankful for your nationality, otherwise you would be a corpse now. Kong Yao said in a deep voice. If this happened in his own Dark Knight Island, Song Kinder would have been beaten into a sieve long ago. You still dare to threaten me with words? Draw your guns. If anyone dares to resist, they will be executed on the spot. You have such great power. When I was suppressing thugs, no one could touch me. When I was eliminating state spies, no one dared to point a gun at me. Now you tell me that you want to execute me on the spot. He Menjing stood up with a sullen face, but her charming eyes seemed to be able to shoot out knives. Song Kinder was stunned. There were two real gold stars on He Menjing's shoulder straps. Are there any female officers of this level in the country? Then, Song Kinder remembered a person mentioned by the military when he had dinner with them before the Phantom in the army. She is the dream of all the men in the army and the most iron-blooded and cold-blooded rose in the team. How could she be here? You are General He. So you know me. Is it an improper relationship between a man and a woman that my two sisters and I feed the son of a man? You openly insulted a national officer and even threatened him with words. You have a very accurate judgment of your mistake. Song Kinder was a little dumbfounded. What on earth had his son offended? Not to mention He Menjing's two direct subordinate units. If he really hurt He Menjing, no senior military officials, including retired ones, would let him go. Today is the first time I meet S son. I don't want to be stained with blood, otherwise I would have executed you on the spot. He Menjing said in a deep voice. Excuse me, I'm leaving now. Song Kinder knew that it was impossible to avenge himself, so running away first was the wisest choice. Stop. Who told you to leave? I don't want to get bloodstained, but that doesn't mean I'll let you go. He Menjing's words made Song Kinder's legs tremble. Is he going to be in trouble today? Sister, how about I help you break one of his legs? Li Maigui suggested. Forget it, that doesn't fit the image of a big sister. How about I do it? I guarantee that more than 100 slashes will only cause minor damage. With my sword skills and the guidance of my sixth sister, I have tried it many times. Lin Fan, who was sitting on the chair, couldn't help but tremble in his heart. Although all of his 7 godmothers are extremely domineering, if he had to say which one he should not mess with the most, it would be the 3 around him. It's still okay for others, but the lives lost by these 3 are probably in for digits each. Don't go too far. I am the department manager after all. Even if I am wrong, do you want to kill me directly? Song Kinder said desperately. He had already made his identity clear and he had not made any substantial mistakes. Even the Phantom in the army would not dare to do anything to him directly. Besides, if I don't show my strength now, will I still be able to survive in Lingyan City in the future? That sounds nice, but your son found a group of bastards to attack my son and even wanted to cripple his legs, but you didn't care about it. What? There is such a thing? Don't worry, I will give you an explanation for this rascal. After saying that, Songkinder turned around and led his men away. The speed of their evacuation was no different from running away. Xiaofan, your identity is special, so I can't help you deal with him directly. But don't worry, when I go back, I will ask the higher-ups to severely punish him. I won't be called he until I get him skinned alive. He Menjing explained. How about I take action, Xiaofan? Do you want your fourth aunt to stretch her muscles and help you destroy their family? Your aunt has plenty of weapons. Kong Yao said with a smile. Lin Fan swallowed his saliva and finally understood why fourth mother was called a fallen angel. The only one who could say such vicious words with such an innocent and lovely smile was probably him, fourth mother. No need. The three godmothers are exaggerating. I'm fine. I guess they won't dare to provoke me in the future. Why bother with them? Xiaofan has a really good temper. Maybe she compliments my daughter's personality. Xiaofan, fourth mother gave you a sister named Kong Shasha. You young people should get to know her more. By the way, where do you live now? I'll ask your sister Shasha to move in right away. No need. I'm staying at 6th aunt's place now. I can't handle sister Kiki's situation. Lin Fan said awkwardly. No way. You are the descendant of that old bastard Lin Changshan. He took care of all 7 of us at once. At 6th sister's place, right. I'll let Shasha stay there tonight. Lin Fan was speechless. Fourth mother was indeed fierce. Not only her actions, but also her words. Fourth sister, you are so quick to act. If I had known, I would not have let my daughter go to study abroad. I must find time to transfer her back to school. Lin Fan was speechless. Why did he feel like all 7 godmothers were pimps? This was too cool. Chapter 6 exposed. Hospital lobby. A pretty figure walked in directly, attracting countless men around to watch. The girl had a well-proportioned figure. She didn't seem to have an ounce of excess fat on her body. She had a well-proportioned body and long legs, and every step she took in her high heels made the hearts of the men around her feel as if they were pierced by Cupid's arrows. Not only men, many women also showed envious eyes. Just looking at this figure, even a woman can hardly control herself, let alone men. After the girl walked out of the elevator, she pushed open the door of Zhang Mingqi's office. Chichi, long time no see. Zhang Mingqi was slightly stunned, and then a look of joy suddenly appeared on her face. Shasha, when did you come back? Zhang Mingqi jumped up and said excitedly while holding Kong Shasha's hand. I came back with my mom last night. Did you miss me? I thought about it, but you, a heartless person, don't even come to see me. Zhang Mingqi pouted. My boss has been following me around to carry out missions. By the way, I heard that you encountered some troubles. Kong Shasha asked curiously. When she said this, a look of dissatisfaction appeared on Zhang Mingqi's face. It's that Lin Fan again. He's so annoying. Actually, he's not that annoying, but I feel uncomfortable having him living in my house. Lin Fan? That should be the godson my mother mentioned. Don't worry, I will help you drive him away at night. Kong Shasha patted her chest and promised. Since Kong Shasha came, Zhang Mingqi took a leave of absence and accompanied Kong Shasha on trips. On the other hand, Lin Fan, led by 3 beautiful women, went on a shopping spree, turning himself from a country bumpkin into a tall, rich and handsome man. In the afternoon, He Menjing had no choice but to leave because of the constant calls from her superiors urging her to leave. At night, Li Maigui suggested going to Nevernight for some fun, but Kong Yao didn't like that kind of place and was worried that going with her would affect Lin Fan, so she took the initiative to leave the team. After arriving at Nevernight, Lin Fan and Li Maigui got out of the car. Li Maigui directly put her arm around Lin Fan's arm. Although the two were more than 20 years apart in age, there was no sense of incongruity when standing together. At most, it looked like a sister-brother relationship. After entering Nevernight, the waiters at the door collectively bowed 90 degrees and shouted, "Sister Rose." Oh my, why didn't you notify me in advance when Sister Rose came so I could make preparations in advance? The bold manager of Nevernight hurried over and said. The bold man's name is Tu Hong, nicknamed the Butcher. He used to be Lee Megui's right-hand man, just like Dai Hu. However, he was injured in an accident later. Tu Hong felt that continuing to lead his younger brothers would affect his momentum, so he retired directly to Bai City and became a manager. Because his last name is Tu and he has a bald head, some old acquaintances like Lee Megui like to call him Baldy. No need to prepare anything, I'm just here to have some fun. Oh, by the way, Sister Rose, who is this? The bald man looked at Lin Fan on the side in confusion. He had never heard of Sister Rose's private life, let alone the fact that she kept a gigolo. This is my godson Lin Fan. Remember, he will be the prince here from now on. Everything he eats here is free. If he is short of money, give it to him. If he doesn't have enough, lend it to me, okay? The bald man was stunned. Isn't this treatment too high? Even Sister Rose's daughter has to spend money when she comes to this sleepless night. This is the rule set by Sister Rose. The biological daughter has to spend money, but the godson not only doesn't he have to spend money, but can even get money. Is this the godson? Hello, Mr. Lin. I used to be Sister Rose's younger brother. If you need anything, just tell me. I guarantee you will be satisfied. Uncle Baldy, you're too polite. By the way, Uncle Baldy, I see that your hair follicles are not completely dead. If you need hair growth, I can make you have thick and beautiful hair in a month. Lin Fan said enthusiastically. He didn't know that hair was a taboo for bald men. Of course, with Lee Megui around, it didn't matter if Lin Fan violated the taboo. Really? But no need for that. My bald head is my symbol. It would be weird if I had hair. Please come in. I will go prepare a room for you. Most of the guests around had never seen Lee Megui, but they were very clear about the bald man's identity. Everyone couldn't help but wonder who these two people were that could earn such warm hospitality from him. In the corner, the two middle-aged men looked at each other, and then slowly moved towards Lin Fan and the others. Inside the private room, the huge space seemed a little empty only for Lin Fan and the other two. Through the floor-to-ceiling windows, they could directly see the men and women dancing on the dance floor outside the window. What do you think, Xiao Fan? If you like any of them, just ask and I'll help you tie them up. Lin Fan was stunned. Was this the reason why he was brought here? No. No, I don't like to force people. This is very similar to that old bastard Lin Changshan. Do you like this place? If you like it, I can give it to you. There are many more places like this. Seeing such enthusiasm, Lin Fan felt that he had come to the right place. In the mountains, Lin Changshan tried every possible way to plunder his place. After coming here, several godmothers bought all kinds of things and gave all kinds of gifts. His life was completely different in world. No need. I have no idea about these things, and I have no pursuit of them. You have no desires at such a young age. But it's good, so you don't learn bad things by coming to places like this. Godmother still wants to introduce her daughter to you and make her your mother-in-law. At this point, Lee Megui suddenly thought of something, and quickly took out her phone to find the photo and said, "This is my daughter, how is she?" Lin Fan took a look at the photo and couldn't help but praise the beauty of the girl in the photo. This girl is about 60% similar to Lee Megui, but unlike Lee Megui who has a sense of vicissitudes, she has a youthful vitality from the inside out. As expected of my daughter, she's just as beautiful. She has such a sweet mouth. Her name is Li Shan. She is different. She is a top student from Harvard and a cultured person. Boom boom boom. Just as Lee Megui continued to introduce Lin Fan, there was a knock on the door. Who is it? Lee Megui asked somewhat dissatisfiedly. Sister Rose, the manager asked us to bring some food. Oh, come in. After saying that, Lee Megui sat directly on the sofa. When two people dressed as waiters came in with a cart, Lee Megui asked directly, "Tell me, who sent you here?" The two were slightly stunned and asked in confusion, "It's the manager." The waiters call him the bald manager, but I always call him bald brother. Exposed. Seeing that the situation had come to this, one of the middle-aged men had no choice but to implement his plan ahead of time. He pulled out a machete from the dining car and chopped at Lee Megui. Chapter 7 Kong Shasha. This person rushed forward quickly and retreated even faster. Lin Fan kicked the man away with one kick. Before the other person could react, Lin Fan had already rushed to him and grabbed his wrist with a small grab. At this time, the middle-aged man who was knocked flying had stabilized his body and rushed towards Lin Fan at a rapid speed. Lee Maigui was worried that Lin Fan was in danger, so she quickly pressed the red button under the coffee table. All of a sudden, alarms sounded on all the waiters' intercoms, which meant that something had happened to Lee Maigui. Without time to think, everyone rushed to the Chinzi private room in the Nevernight Hotel. "Sister Rose, are you okay?" The bald man rushed into the room first, but what he saw was a young man and two middle-aged men lying on the ground. This is. These two people wanted to touch me, but were dealt with by my son. Check their identities." The bald man nodded blankly and looked at Lin Fan subconsciously. "Don't worry, they are just fainted. I didn't kill them. These two are much better than ordinary people, but much weaker than killers. I think the direction can be reduced a lot. Thank you, Master Lin, otherwise we would have been in big trouble. Take these two ignorant creatures away." "Yes." After Baldy and others left, Lee Maigui liked Lin Fan more and more. "Good job, Xiaofan, you are really good at this. You solved the battle without even seeing it clearly. Thank you for saving my life. You're too kind. Actually, it won't be a problem if there's no problem. These two people are usually strong enough to deal with them easily. They have already discovered the problem and can sound the alarm at any time. Thank you, you are such a good kid." As she spoke, Lee Maigui reached out and touched Lin Fan's head. Perhaps because he was an orphan, Lin Fan now felt like he finally had a mother. After this incident, Lin Fan and Lee Maigui were no longer in the mood to play. On their way back, Lin Fan bought some vegetables and returned to their community. The moment Lin Fan opened the door, a shining dagger suddenly appeared in front of Lin Fan. Lin Fan frowned slightly. Killer? The other party actually rushed out from Liu Mar's house. Could it be that Song Qiao hired someone to kill someone? Without time to think, Lin Fan quickly grabbed the opponent's wrist, stepped forward and hit the opponent directly under the armpit with his elbow. There are the axillary artery and nerve plexus in the armpit. If this area is hit hard, it will greatly affect the mobility of the arm. The moment the female killer was hit and lost her resistance, Lin Fan kicked her into the room and then quickly closed the door. Although it is still uncertain who sent this female killer, her smooth movements are enough to conclude that she is much more professional than the person who attacked Lee Maigui before. If someone finds out and calls the police might also be implicated, and then things will get really serious. After Lin Fan closed the door, the female killer finally regained her ability to move and swung the dagger at Lin Fan again. Lin Fan calmly grabbed the female killer's wrist again and used a small move to pull the female killer's right arm behind her back. The female killer was not weak either. She loosened her wrist holding the dagger at that moment. She caught the dagger with her left hand as it fell, and then stabbed it fiercely at Lin Fan. At this moment, Lin Fan suddenly had a few coins in his hand. When the dagger attacked, he used the coins to block the tip of the knife. The strength difference between men and women was particularly obvious at this moment, and the female killer's dagger flew out of her hand directly. Lin Fan did not miss this opportunity. He quickly grabbed the female killer's arm, which was numbed by the shock, and pressed her to the ground. "Tell me. Who sent you? What did you do to Chichi?" The female killer gritted her teeth and said nothing, her arms still struggling to break free from Lin Fan's control. "You won't tell me? Then don't blame me for being rude." After saying that, Lin Fan raised his clenched fist high into the air, preparing to punch the female killer on the back of the head. "What are you arguing about?" After hearing the noise in the living room, Zhang Mingqi pushed open the door and asked in confusion. When she saw Lin Fan pressing Kong Shasha to the ground, her face suddenly became gloomy. "What are you doing? Let Sasha go." Lin Fan was stunned. Did he know this female killer Zhang Mingqi? Sasha. Could this be fourth mother's daughter Kong Shasha? While Lin Fan was stunned, Kong Shasha finally broke free from Lin Fan's control. She stepped aside and rubbed her painful wrist. "Sasha, are you okay? Did this bad guy do anything to you?" Zhang Mingqi asked hurriedly. "It's okay, but this guy is worried about you." Lin Fan scratched his head and asked in confusion, "Are you fourth mother's daughter, Kong Shasha?" "I'm Kong Shasha. My mom said you're strong, and Chichi said you're annoying, so I thought I'd teach you a lesson when I tested your skills." "You're really strong." Lin Fan was speechless. He glanced at the dagger beside him and picked it up to smell it. Zhang Mingqi frowned. What kind of hobby is this? He wants to smell the dagger that Sasha has taken. Does he want to smell Sasha's scent? So disgusting. Is this how you teach people a lesson? The dagger is coated with 1,000 insect powder, which is made from the blood of thousands of poisonous insects. Once poisoned, it feels like thousands of insects are gnawing at the skin, causing unbearable itching. Eventually, the poisoned person will scratch their skin and die. I have the antidote. I don't really want to kill you. Kong Shasha turned her head aside and said. Zhang Mingqi was stunned. So Lin Fan was sure that there was poison on the dagger? Sasha actually put poison on the dagger? In fact, Kong Shasha really didn't want to use this thing against Lin Fan. She just forgot that she had applied medicine on the dagger when she was performing the mission before, and then forgot to deal with it. Fortunately, Lin Fan was not really hurt, otherwise I would not have the antidote. It's okay to play with knives, but girls should not play with poison, or you won't be able to get a boyfriend. None of your business. Kong Shasha snatched the dagger and ran straight into the bathroom. Lin Fan took a look at the scattered vegetables on the ground and couldn't help but sigh. I thought there wasn't much food in the fridge, so I bought some to eat with you, but now that's all gone. Zhang Mingqi felt a little ashamed at this moment, and said awkwardly, Shasha should not have any ill intentions, so, let's go out to eat. I have no money. It's okay, I'll treat you. Zhang Mingqi is not an unreasonable person. Since she did something wrong, it is normal for her to treat Lin Fan to a meal. I'll treat you, as an apology for almost hurting you. Kong Shasha said as she walked out of the bathroom, with faint drops of water still on the dagger. Chapter 8 Beauty Effect. 20 minutes later, the three of them arrived at a food stall near the community. The fact that two beauties visited the food stall was eye-catching enough. These two girls are real. Which one do you think is this boy's girlfriend? A young man not far away asked curiously to his friend next to him. Don't ask me. If I were to ask me, it would probably be both. Why are you so arrogant? We are both eating at a food stall, why can he bring two beautiful girls with him, while I can only follow you? Don't you see the difference between you two? Look at your height. Can you hit someone's knee when you jump up? I am a little short, but concentration is the essence. What about that face? Did you see that truck over there? This guy was lying on the ground and got run over by that truck 8 times, but when he got up, he was still more handsome than you. I'm too handsome to be true. What about the cost? Did you see what she's wearing? Even though it's ordinary, the price at the counter is at least 200,000. How about you? Including the underwear, your whole body is less than 200. The young man sighed helplessly. The differences between people are really huge. Hey guys, this is our signature grilled fish, please try it. The boss came over enthusiastically, holding a plate of tinfoil grilled fish. Zhang Mingqi was slightly stunned and asked in confusion, Boss, we didn't want this. I know, it's a gift. Because of your presence, our store is so packed for the first time. Please come often in the future. Thank you, boss. Lin Fan didn't mind at all and directly took the grilled fish from the boss. Zhang Mingqi was a little speechless, and smiled bitterly, you are really not polite at all. It would be a shame to be polite at this time. Besides, with the beauty effect, the boss will make more than just this plate of grilled fish today. In that case, you won't have any share of the grilled fish. Kong Shasha said as she snatched the grilled fish directly from Lin Fan's hands. What are you doing? Lin Fan asked dazedly. This is the benefit brought by the beauty effect. You have no chance of getting it. Humph. Kong Shasha snorted softly, as if she was still unhappy about being crushed by Lin Fan just now. Seeing the two of them like this, Zhang Mingqi found it a little funny. Maybe these two are a pair of happy enemies. After the meal, Kong Shasha's cell phone suddenly rang. Hello? What's up, Mom? Sasha, where are you now? Me. Chichi and I are having dinner, what's wrong? Chichi? That means Xiaofan is here too, right? That's great. I was worried that you couldn't handle it alone. Your Aunt Rose was attacked today. So what's the situation now? Fortunately, Xiaofan solved it. Now your Aunt Rose has found out who it is. I'm going to let you go and ask for some interest. You and Xiaofan can go together. Kong Shasha glanced at Lin Fan. Doesn't her mother really trust her? I see, you tell me. Kong Shasha said a few words and then hung up the phone. Zhang Minqi saw that Kong Shasha looked a little serious and couldn't help but asked worriedly, "What's wrong? Did something happen?" "Well, my mom wants me to take care of some personal matters, so I'll be leaving now." "Don't worry, I promised you that I would drive this bad guy away and I will do it." Zhang Minqi's face turned red. How could Sasha say this in front of Lin Fan? How can I face him in the future? After watching Kong Shasha leave, Lin Fan couldn't help but wonder, "Do you hate me?" No. "Oh, let's go then." After saying that, Lin Fan stood up and walked towards the community. It would be fine if Lin Fan showed dissatisfaction or even said a few words to himself, but Lin Fan didn't say this. Zhang Minqi felt guilty. Actually, Lin Fan was a good person. On their way back, Lin Fan remained silent and Zhang Minqi didn't know how to start. After returning home, Lin Fan went straight into the bathroom. Zhang Minqi always felt guilty, so she sat in the living room and waited for Lin Fan silently. 10 minutes later, Lin Fan walked out of the bathroom wearing a bathrobe. I want to tell you something. Is this yukata of yours new?" Lin Fan glanced down and nodded. "Yes, it's new. Also, I made your bath towel dirty yesterday, so I bought you a new one today. What you want to talk about is the fact that I bought a new bathrobe." "No, it's about what Sasha said." "Oh, I understand. I'll go find a house tomorrow. If you don't want me to live here, just tell me directly. Why go through so much trouble?" Lin Fan said it casually, but Zhang Minqi felt very uncomfortable listening to it, and even began to reflect on her own behavior. Was I going too far? Actually, Lin Fan had done nothing wrong. He had even tried to protect me in the morning. Especially since he could even defeat Shasha. If he really had done anything bad to me, wouldn't he have done it long ago? "I'm sorry, I didn't mean that." Ring. Lin Fan took out his cell phone in confusion and answered the call. "Hello? Fourth mom wants to talk to me this late at night. Luckily you didn't turn off your phone." Sasha has a habit of turning off her phone immediately after receiving a mission. "I just received news that the mission target will hold a meeting at the target location tonight. They will have experts there. Tell Sasha that the mission is temporarily cancelled." "Oh. Fourth mother, her phone is turned off. It's no use calling me. When I call her number, isn't it also turned off?" "What? Didn't I ask Shasha to take you with me? This kid is really stubborn. There are so many people and they have enough weapons. How can she solve the problem alone? Rely on the poison on her dagger." "Well, the poison on her dagger has been washed off." "Silly child, Xiaofan, can you go and help Shasha?" "Of course, as long as fourth mother tells me to do it, I will definitely do it." "That's great. Go to the Lohars Leisure Center and don't ask for anything else. Just help me protect Sasha. I'll be there right away." "Good. What's wrong?" Zhang Minqi asked puzzledly after Lin Fan hung up the phone. "I'm afraid something's going to happen to Kong Shasha. I'll go check out the situation first." "Well, be careful then." Lin Fan was caught off guard by Zhang Minqi's sudden concern. Does this girl hate him or not? Forget it, there is no time to worry about these things. This is the first time fourth mother has asked me to do something for her, so I can't let her down. Lin Fan quickly rushed back to the room and changed into his previous country bumpkin clothes in less than a minute. Your clothes." Zhang Minqi looked at Lin Fan in surprise. "Isn't this too fast? Clothes? Oh, those clothes were bought by my godmothers. It would be bad if they got dirty or torn, so you should just wear this and stay safe at home." After saying that, Lin Fan turned around and left. Chapter 9 Rescue. Inside the Lohars Leisure Center. Although Lohars was not open at that time, it attracted no less than 1,000 people. In a private room on the top floor of the center, a young girl was hanging in the middle, surrounded by several ferocious men. This girl is really powerful. She actually killed hundreds of us. Fortunately, we have an expert, otherwise we would have been in trouble. The fat man in the lead said with a sly smile, touching his chin. The fat guy's name is Pang Lun. He was nicknamed Pang Lun because of his physique. In recent years, he suddenly became popular and was nicknamed Fat Grandpa by people in the underworld. Pang Lun is not a serious person to begin with. Of course, even if he is not, he will definitely have some bad thoughts when he sees Kong Shasha's graceful figure and delicate face. Fatty, I advise you to stop looking at me like that, or I'll make things difficult for you. Oh my, what else can you do to me now that it's already like this? But you have a very strong temper, and I like that. I like roses with thorns like you, because that's the only way to have fun conquering you. My little darling, here I come, Fatty. Pang Lun touched Kong Shasha's delicate face and looked at the wounds on her body. Pang Lun couldn't help but become excited. Just as Pang Lun was preparing for his next move, the window was suddenly kicked broken, and then a silver object hit Pang Lun in the middle of his eyebrows. Pang Lun just felt dizzy and then fell to the ground. The other three people present reacted instantly and drew their swords. Lie. Lin Fan jumped in directly from the window. As soon as he untied the rope around his waist, two knives stabbed at him directly. Without thinking too much, Lin Fan swung the rope he had just untied and whipped the two men towards them in an attempt to force them back. However, he did not expect that the two men would advance instead and rush right in front of Lin Fan. He is indeed a master. However, it's still a little tender. Lin Fan suddenly pressed his body downwards, then slapped the two men on the back, knocking them down from the 6th floor. Of course, being able to do this is not because Lin Fan is too good, it is entirely due to using the opponent's force against him and the opponent's underestimation of him. In addition, the two of them increased their speed in order to force the attack, and Lin Fan was too close to the window, so Lin Fan picked up two heads for nothing. As the two bodies fell, Daihu downstairs knew that Lin Fan had already taken action, so he drew out his machete and shouted, "Charge!" In an instant, hundreds of people rushed into the Lohars Leisure Center. The sounds of fighting downstairs were heard upstairs, but they did not affect the confrontation between Lin Fan and the other person. Looking at the way the other person holds the knife, it seems that he is a Japanese soldier. He took out the fist blade borrowed from Daihu from his waist and prepared for battle. R. The Japanese soldier yelled and rushed directly towards Lin Fan. Lin Fan dodged the opponent's attack, then his left hand drew a graceful arc and clenched his fist to cut the Japanese soldier's waist. The Japanese soldier reacted quickly, slid his wrist down, and used the handle of his knife to block Lin Fan's attack. Oh my god! Can we still defend like this? Before Lin Fan could finish his sigh, the Japanese soldier had already slashed at him. Lin Fan attacked with his right hand, forcibly deflecting the knife with his fist blade, then rushed forward violently, swinging both hands at the same time. The Japanese did not dare to fight head-on and quickly retreated several steps. Swish, swish, swish. Just as the Japanese soldier stood firm, more than a dozen silver objects flew out, and the Japanese soldier slashed them down with more than a dozen swords. Looking at the hidden weapon hanging on the knife, he realized that it was not a hidden weapon at all, but a coin. Can this thing be used as a hidden weapon? Where are you looking at? A voice came from behind, and the Japanese soldier realized that Lin Fan in front of him had disappeared long ago. When he was about to turn around to fight back, Lin Fan had already prepared to dodge, and his double blades cut directly towards the devil's lower back. R. Barga. The Japanese soldier roared, gritted his teeth, endured the severe pain, and chopped down with his knife. Without any hesitation, Lin Fan loosened his 10 fingers, clenched his fist and stabbed the devil's lower abdomen. Because Lin Fan's momentum was too great, the Japanese soldier couldn't even accumulate strength, and was directly pushed against the wall 6 or 7 meters behind by Lin Fan. Lin Fan let go again and gripped the fist blade again, slashing out more than 10 times in a row, finally ending the opponent's life. Swish! Lin Fan cut the rope that tied Kong Shasha with a knife. Kong Shasha became powerless and fell directly into Lin Fan's arms. How are you? Kong Shasha couldn't help but be dazed as she looked at Lin Fan's face. Which woman has never thought that when she is in danger, a hero like a Prince Charming will appear? But Kong Shasha didn't expect that the person who saved her would be Lin Fan. Kong Shasha became weaker and weaker, and then she fainted. Lin Fan quickly pressed a few acupoints on Kong Shasha's body to seal the wound that was still bleeding. Fortunately, I arrived in time, otherwise, even if I wasn't tortured to death by that fat man, I would have died from excessive blood loss. Bang! The door was kicked open and Daihu rushed in covered in blood. He was relieved when he saw that Lin Fan was fine. Have all the people been dealt with? Almost. Although this group of people is a little more, their strength is too weak. They're helpers that Fatty Lun invited. Two fell down, and one is lying over there. Daihu nodded and couldn't help but re-examine Lin Fan in his mind. He is worthy of being Sister Rose's godson, his strength is really amazing. By the way, I didn't kill that fat guy. Was it him who wanted to do it? According to the information we received, it was this fat guy. That's good, take him away and let him be dealt with. Okay, Mr. Lin. Although Pang Lun was fat, Daihu's body was not in vain. He lifted up Pang Lun, who weighed more than 200 pounds, with almost no effort. Lin Fan also picked up Kong Shasha and walked outside. As soon as I arrived at the door, a Ferrari came speeding over. The license plate Ling 55555 was particularly eye-catching. How's Sasha? Kong Yao didn't even have time to open the car door. She just jumped out of the car and ran to Lin Fan. It's nothing serious. I've stopped the bleeding. All I have to do next is bandage it properly and use my secret medicine. I guarantee there won't be any scars left. After hearing this, Kong Yao finally breathed a sigh of relief. Thank you, Xiaofan. I'll take Sasha to get the wound bandaged first. Sasha is the only one that Fourth Mother cares about. If something really happens to her, Fourth Mother won't have to live any longer. The medical team I called should be here soon. Fourth Sister, you should go quickly. Li Maigui ran over and said. After Kong Yao left, Lin Fan couldn't help but ask, with your power, no one should dare to touch you, right? Especially in China, does that fat guy have any background? Chapter 10. Let us consolidate it. Li Maigui sighed. She knew that this matter could not be kept secret, and there was no need to hide it from Lin Fan. Of course this fat guy doesn't dare to touch me, but he has recognized a master who has some skills. Who? Yamada Group. Yamada Group? Isn't he that the #1 underground force in the Devil's country? No wonder 3 devils showed up before. So that fat guy became the running dog of the Yamada Group and helped them develop their influence in the country. That's right. I've always had a problem with the Yamada Group. I wanted to collect some interest before the war, but I didn't expect something like this to happen. At this point, Li Maigui couldn't help but glance at Kong Shasha, who was not far away, and asked worriedly, is Shasha really okay? It's okay, I arrived just in time. That's good. Otherwise, if Sasha is really implicated, I will feel guilty for the rest of my life. At this point, Li Maigui suddenly realized a problem. This might be a blessing in disguise. After thinking for a while, Li Maigui continued, Xiaofan has decided to go to war with the Yamada Group. Don't worry about Shina. I plan to transfer her back to China to study. Can you protect her? No problem. Without so many men under your command, it seems like you don't need me to protect one person, right? The ones who stay here are just those who are trying to gain control of the territory. I will take away all the experts. They can handle the ordinary thugs without any problem, but I am worried that the Yamada Group will send experts over. I see. If there's no problem, don't worry. I feel relieved when you say this. It's getting late. You should go back and rest. After saying goodbye to Li Maigui, Lin Fan went straight back to Zhang Mingqi's home. Zhang Mingqi hadn't fallen asleep yet. When she saw Lin Fan, she couldn't help but anxiously asked, how is it? Is Sasha okay? It's nothing serious, just some minor injuries. Just rest for 2 days. That's good. Zhang Mingqi finally breathed a sigh of relief after hearing that Kong Shasha was fine. Oh, by the way, I'm too tired today, and I have to make scar-free medicine tomorrow. Do you think I can move out 2 days later? After hearing this, Zhang Mingqi couldn't help but pout. Lin Fan was too stingy. Why was he still thinking about moving away? You are not allowed to move away. Even if you want to leave, at least wait until my mom comes back, humph. After saying that, Zhang Mingqi returned to the room angrily. Lin Fan scratched his head in confusion. A woman's heart is like a needle in the sea. But the good news is that we don't have to move away. Lin Fan was so exhausted at this time that he didn't even take a shower. He just took off his clothes and fell on the bed. The next day at noon, in the hospital, Kong Shasha slowly opened her eyes. When Zhang Mingqi saw that Kong Shasha had woken up, she quickly asked, Shasha, how do you feel? However, to Zhang Mingqi's surprise, Kong Shasha not only did not answer her question, but asked a question she did not expect. Where's Lin Fan? He said he would come over at noon. Oh, where's my mom? Didn't she come? I heard from the doctor on duty at the hospital that Aunt Yao left angrily after sending you to the hospital. Judging from the personalities of Aunt Yao and Aunt Maigui, it is very likely that they are preparing people to avenge you. Oh. You're awake. It seems that you have good physical strength. You're worthy of being a killer. Lin Fan walked into the ward with a plastic bag in his hand and said with a smile. Is that the medicine you said you had? Yes, as long as you apply this medicine and my acupuncture, I guarantee that there will be no scars. Zhang Minqi curiously took the bag from Lin Fan's hand, took a look at the white plaster inside and couldn't help wondering, is this it? Does it really work? Of course, even scars that have already been left can be removed by applying it for a long time. What's more, the wound has not yet scabbed. If you apply it now and do acupuncture, it will basically be healed in 3 days. Needle, acupuncture, do I need to take off my clothes? Kong Shasha asked shyly. Of course, no matter how strong your medical skills are, you can't give acupuncture through clothes. Lin Fan shrugged. No, this is absolutely not allowed. Didn't you say that it can be applied directly? Then I will apply it, and you get out. Zhang Minqi said with great resistance. She couldn't let this bad guy Lin Fan get away with it. I'm fine, and I also want to get better soon. Kong Shasha said in a low voice, with a blush on her face. Zhang Minqi was stunned. Was Sasha being conquered by Lin Fan? Sasha just came back yesterday. Isn't it too quick for this bad guy to act? Then in order to prevent you from doing anything bad, I will watch the whole process. Whatever. Anyway, I'm not afraid of you stealing my skills. Western medicine and Chinese medicine are two completely different concepts. Even if you are from a medical university, I guess you can't understand my techniques. Having said that, Lin Fan placed everything in the bag on the cabinet and began to make preliminary preparations. What are you waiting for? Help the patient undress. Do you want me to do it myself? Werewolf. Zhang Minqi muttered softly, then took off Kong Shasha's clothes, leaving only her underwear. After getting ready, Lin Fan applied ointment on Kong Shasha and then began to give her acupuncture. Kong Shasha shyly glanced at Lin Fan the whole time, with a hint of spring in her eyes. 10 minutes later, Lin Fan finished the treatment. Just as he pulled out the last silver needle, he heard Zhang Minqi's roar. Turn around. Lin Fan was startled and the needle in his hand almost stabbed Kong Shasha again. Lin Fan quickly turned his back and couldn't help but mutter, what are you doing? If I wanted to peek at the medicine application, wouldn't I have already peeked? You? Zhang Minqi gritted her teeth and was about to say something when Kong Shasha suddenly spoke first. Will you come tomorrow? Tomorrow? What are you doing here? Treatment. One treatment is enough and you will be cured within 3 days. Is that so? Will there be any accidents? Why don't you come back tomorrow to consolidate it? Kong Shasha said with a blushing face. After hearing this, Lin Fan suddenly felt his blood boiling and he almost had a nosebleed. After seeing this scene, Zhang Minqi felt sour and annoyed. This villain was so despicable that he actually attacked the innocent Sasha. If you want to do something else, you can also find me. After this thought came to her mind, Zhang Minqi was shocked by herself. No, I must have been so angry that I couldn't hold back my words. Even if he pursued me, it would be useless. I would not agree. Shasha, your idea is too dangerous. After saying that, Zhang Minqi glared at Lin Fan and said, what are you waiting for? Why aren't you leaving yet? Do you want me to treat you to a meal? Well, I really haven't eaten, how about you treat me a meal? Lin Fan turned his head and said with a smile. Bang! The next second, Lin Fan was driven out the door, and at the same time, the door of the room was closed tightly. Lin Fan sighed helplessly. Have to. You can make do with lunch yourself. Chapter 11 500? 5 million. A car slowly stopped at the entrance of the hospital. Song Chia looked at the hospital in front of him, hesitant. Dad, do we really have to be here? I can't help you. I've even contacted Zhongzhou about your situation, and the famous doctors there also said that they are helpless in your situation. For now, we can only try to see Dr. Zhang to see if there is any way. But Zhang Qing seems to have a relationship with that Lin Fan, and Zhang Minqi is in this hospital, Song Qiao had an embarrassed look on his face, and gradually, the embarrassed expression was slowly replaced by anger. Songkinder knew his son's situation and comforted him. There are many beautiful women in the world. It's just John Winchi. You can get any woman you can cure. Let's go. Not long after their father and son got out of the car and walked into their hospital, they saw a man who left a deep impression on both of them. Lin Fan. Song Qiao gritted his teeth and said Lin Fan's name, looking as if he was going to pounce on Lin Fan and bite him. Isn't this Mr. Song? Come to the hospital for treatment. To Lin Fan, Song Qiao was just a small episode in his life, so he naturally didn't have a deep impression of him. At this time, he had even forgotten that Song Qiao's leg was broken. However, these words had a different meaning to Song Qiao. Satire. This is definitely a mockery of myself. Songkinder frowned slightly. Was Lin Fan trying to provoke his son? He wanted his son to cause trouble here to destroy his last hope. Thinking of this, Songkinder quickly pulled Song Qiao, and then said with enthusiasm on his face, "Young man, we meet again." Lin Fan glanced at Songkinder, and after a moment of recollection, he remembered Songkinder and said with a smile, "I remember him now. We meet again." The corner of Songkinder's eyes twitched involuntarily, and he thought that Lin Fan was quite pretentious. After all, you are the mayor of Lingyun City, the top person here. Have you remembered this? I heard everything from my son. It was all a misunderstanding. The child was quite impulsive and was misled by those hooligans. I think you won't mind, little brother. In fact, Lin Fan really didn't take Song Qiao seriously. Even though his father was awesome, he himself was a complete loser and not worth worrying about at all. I don't mind. Har har, good, young people should be so straightforward. As he spoke, Songkinder patted Lin Fan on the shoulder, then extended his hand and said, I will educate my son well, and as his father, I will shake hands with you and make peace on his behalf. After saying that, Songkinder didn't wait for Lin Fan to nod, and directly held Lin Fan's hand, while his other hand held Lin Fan's wrist. At this moment, a small black object was stuffed directly into Lin Fan's cuffs. After saying goodbye to Lin Fan, Song Qiao and his son walked into the elevator. At this time, Song Qiao finally couldn't help himself and asked directly, Dad, do you really want to shake hands and make peace with him? How is that possible? But this kid has a great background. I can only outsmart him if I can't defeat him with force. When we shook hands just now, I secretly placed a bug on his sleeve. It was something from the military, and I got it with great difficulty. I originally wanted to deal with my disobedient deputy, but you may need it more. Song Qiao's eyes lit up and he said excitedly, Dad, you can do it. That's right. I've practiced the scene for a long time. Since this kid is so arrogant, he must have done a lot of things that are against the rules. As long as there is enough evidence, Dad will help you bring him down. Song Qiao was so excited that he could finally take revenge. At this moment, he even forgot the pain between his legs. Unfortunately, the father and son had simple ideas, but unfortunately they chose the wrong person. The moment the elevator door closed, Lin Fan removed the eavesdropping device from his sleeve. He had put it on others many times in the past, but he never expected that one day he would be put on it too. But this method. So rough. After thinking for a while, Lin Fan walked out of the hospital directly, bought a roll of tin foil at the supermarket opposite, wrapped the eavesdropping device, and took a taxi to Nevernight. Dai Hu has been taken away by Li Maigui, so Lingyun City is temporarily managed by Tu Hong. When they saw Lin Fan, the employees of Baishan came over to greet him one after another. Regardless of his status as the big sister's godson or his performance yesterday, they knew that he was someone they had to entertain warmly. Is Uncle Baldy here? Yes, Bald Brother is in the office. I'll take you there. Thank you for your help. No trouble, please come this way. Soon, Lin Fan was brought to the door of Tu Hong's office. At this time, the bald man was busy and overwhelmed because of a lot of new things. Boom boom boom. Who is it? Don't bother me unless it's something important. Brother, Master Lin is here. Tu Hong was stunned and quickly got up and ran to open the door. After seeing Lin Fan, Tu Hong was even more enthusiastic than the day before. He quickly welcomed him in and said, Young Master Lin is here. Yesterday I heard from Dai Hu that young Master Lin is extremely brave. Uncle Baldy, thank you for the compliment. Are you busy? I am a bit busy. Hu Zi was called away by Sister Rose, so he pushed all his work to me. But it doesn't matter. Sister Rose said that even if the sky falls, it is not as important as what Master Lin told me. What do you want, Master Lin? Lin Fan looked around and made sure there was no one around before he whispered, Uncle Baldy, does our Nevernight City have that kind of service? That kind? Which one? After taking a look at Lin Fan's slightly evil expression, Tu Hong immediately understood what he meant and said, Sister Rose said that it's immoral, so we won't touch it. But we don't mind if you like each other playing poker here. If you need me to practice with you, Mr. Lin. No, I'm not interested in that kind of woman. As he spoke, Lin Fan took out the eavesdropping device wrapped in tinfoil from his pocket and handed it to Tu Hong. Some people are dishonest, but I always repay evil with kindness. I'll put it in the room that's used the most. It'd be best if it can be used 24 hours a day. Tu Hong blinked blankly, thought for a moment and then said, no problem, I promise to complete young Master Lin's task. Har har, no wonder you praise Uncle Baldy so much. I'll leave it to you then. Okay, do you want me to arrange a car to take you there? No, I can go by myself. Besides, I have no money in my pocket, so prepare some for me. How much does Mr. Lin want? Lin Fan thought for a moment and then said, okay. Please wait a moment. 10 minutes later, Tu Hong brought a bank card and handed it to Lin Fan. Lin Xiaowan has already prepared it for you. Lin Fan was stunned. Is the piece I want good enough? It's not worth 10,000 yuan here? Chapter 12 I don't like your behavior. Seeing that Lin Fan's expression was not right, Tu Hong thought that he had done something wrong, and said blankly, does young Master Lin think there is something wrong? Or did I just hear it wrong, not 10,000 but 10,000? No problem, I just didn't expect the cash flow here to be so abundant. That's good. This is my personal phone number. You can contact me if you need anything, Mr. Lin. Okay, thank you Uncle Baldy. You're welcome. I'll take you there. With 10,000 in his pocket, Lin Fan had a feeling of unreality. Thinking back to the salary that the old man had given him before, it was simply too much. Assassination 200 yuan, bodyguard 1, just a tribe that destroyed the Silver Triangle only gave 1,000. No, help. You stinky bitch, it's an honor for you that our boss likes you, so stop whining. Just as Lin Fan was sighing, a discordant sound reached his ears. Lin Fan frowned slightly, looked at Tu Hong in confusion and said, didn't you say that we don't have this kind of situation here? This Nevernight City is all about mutual consent, but someone actually dares to go against the will of God. Seeing Tu Hong's shocked expression, Lin Fan didn't think much about it. He walked up and pulled the bullied girl behind him. The rich second-generation opposite frowned and asked arrogantly, who the hell are you? Do you have what it takes to be a hero and save a beautiful girl? Mr. Lin represents Bu Chen. Do you think he has the ability to do it? Tu Hong walked out and said. The second-generation rich man naturally knew who Tu Hong was. Although he could be arrogant in front of others, he did not have the confidence to be arrogant with Tu Hong. After hesitating for a while, the second-generation rich man opened his mouth and said, this woman is someone my boss wants. My boss knows Big Sister Rose. Manager 2 had better not get involved in this matter. Do you know Miss Rose? If it was in the past, Tu Hong might have hesitated, but there is no need to do so now. He is very clear about Lin Fan's identity. This girl is the one Lin Fan wants to protect. No matter who the person opposite is, he cannot be as important as Lin Fan. So what? Get out of here. Tu Hong said in a deep voice. The rich second generation also showed dissatisfaction on his face. Tu Hong didn't even give face to Li Maigui. Lin Fan couldn't help but raise his hand, then said, you said your boss knows Big Sister Rose. How is it? Are you scared? I'm not afraid. Why don't you call your boss over? Several godmothers were very kind to him, and Lin Fan did not want to cause trouble for them because of himself. If the people in front of him were really his friends, he would have to find a way to ease the situation, at least to avoid any trouble. As for this girl, he would definitely protect himself, no matter who the other party was. What Lin Fan hated most was this kind of robbery. You are so arrogant, just wait for me. After the rich second generation left, the girl finally breathed a sigh of relief. With tears on her face, she said gratefully, thank you for saving me. It's just a coincidence, don't worry about it. After saying that, Lin Fan no longer paid attention to the girl and waited silently. Soon, the rich second generation came back, followed by a young man with an even more arrogant look. Manager 2, this young master has taken a fancy to this girl. Do you also like her, or do you not even give face to big sister Rose? Lin Fan was slightly stunned. This person looked very familiar. Isn't this young Master Zhang? Lin Fan looked at the person in astonishment and asked in surprise. This young man's name is Zhang Hongyuan. He is the rich young man who was about to attack himself because of the plastic surgery girl at the airport. He had been kneeling in frustration for the whole day and wanted to vent his anger on the plastic surgery girl Momo. However, he found that because of his slap, Momo's nose was collapsed. Only then did Zhang Hongyuan realize that he had really met a plastic surgery girl. Thinking about how he had offended Xu Miayan because of a plastic surgery girl and even had to kneel for a whole day, Zhang Hongyuan was so angry that he hired someone to beat up the plastic surgery girl and then found a few friends to vent his anger. How could he have known that a woman he casually fell in love with would actually attract this young man? It seems you know our boss. If that's the case, kneel down and apologize immediately, otherwise. Bang! Zhang Hongyuan slapped the rich second generation in the face and asked, "How dare you talk to Master Lin? Kneel down and apologize." The second generation rich man covered his face and looked at Zhang Hongyuan in astonishment, saying blankly, "Boss, are you sure? You got the wrong sister." Zhang Hongyuan cursed loudly, then looked at Lin Fan with a flattering face and said, "Mr. Lin, this is all a misunderstanding. You can deal with this kid however you want. Also, I didn't know she was your woman, please don't mind." In the past, Zhang Hongyuan would not be so scared. The worst that could happen is that he would just have to pay more compensation. However, no matter how proud he is of his family's wealth, he knows that there is a world of difference between him and Xu Miayan. The only one in the world richer than Xu Miayan is probably the country. She's not my woman, but I don't like your behavior. Don't you have a plastic surgery girl? Why are you forcing others? To be honest with you, Master Lin, the last time I beat Momo. Oh. I used too much force when I beat that rubbish, and that rubbish's nose collapsed, so I don't care what you think or what you're like normally. If she agrees, that's fine. But if she doesn't, I really don't like your behavior and it's hard for me to accept it. Zhang Hongyuan's legs trembled, and he quickly knelt on the ground and said, "Mr. Lin, I was wrong. I won't dare to do it again. Please forgive me." Lin Fan ignored Zhang Hongyuan and turned to look at the girl and said, "Girls should know how to love themselves, and beautiful girls should know how to protect themselves. This is not the place you should come to." After saying that, Lin Fan turned around and left. Tu Hong, who was standing by, was embarrassed. This young man was trying to ruin the place. Without beauties, how could we attract customers? Well, let this young master do whatever he wants. Lin Fan left, and Tu Hong was too lazy to pay attention to Zhang Hongyuan, so he turned around and left. Zhang Hongyuan felt as if he had been pardoned. Having been defeated by women twice in a row, he even began to fear beautiful women. Half an hour later, Lin Fan returned home, boiled the herbs he brought with him, and began to practice. According to the old man, the Shenyuan Ju that he was practicing would be slow in the early stages, but would become faster and faster when it reached a certain level. Before that, he had to intensify his practice, otherwise he would either make progress or regress. Having already wasted several days, Lin Fan felt that it was time to make up for what he had missed. Chapter 13 Suqingmore. In a mansion in Lingyun City, Song Qiao took the headphones and turned on the eavesdropping device. "Lin Fan, no matter how arrogant you are, no matter how powerful your background is, as long as I can catch you, I will make sure you are doomed." After putting on the headphones, an extremely harsh sound came into Song Qiao's ears. Song Qiao gritted his teeth. This was a huge irony and humiliation for him right now. "Master, it's time for dinner." The nanny knocked on the door. "Eat shit, get out." Song Qiao was so angry at this moment that how could he have the mind to eat? In the following time, Song Qiao listened carefully, not daring to relax at all. However, everything he heard was what he didn't want to hear. By the afternoon of the next day, Song Qiao's face was extremely gloomy. No matter how stupid he was, he knew at this moment that he had been fooled. Lin Fan had already discovered the eavesdropping device and deliberately used the answering device to let him hear what he had heard. This is the most heartbreaking thing. Holding the computer, Song Qiao angrily came to Song Kangder's study and threw the computer directly in front of Song Kangder. What's wrong? Did you hear that boy scolding you? Song Kangder looked at his son in surprise and asked. If that were the case, I wouldn't be so angry. How did you install the bug? It was discovered. I listened for a whole day and night. This guy was actually mocking me for a whole day and night. These words made Song Kangder a little confused, so he picked up the headphones and started listening. Immediately afterwards, Song Kangder heard the Japanese language and was stunned for a moment. This is. A trace of surprise flashed across Song Kangder's face. Isn't Lin Fan too immoral? Knowing his son's current situation, he deliberately told him these things? This is absolutely murderous. Did you hear that? Let me tell you, I hear more than you, at least 20 languages. Song Qiao's eyes were bloodshot at this moment, and it was hard to tell whether it was because of the torture he had suffered for a day and a night or because of his hatred towards Lin Fan. How did this guy find out? Never mind, the plan failed, but we still have a backup plan. I will definitely help you deal with this guy. Not only do I want him to die, I also want to torture him and make him endure the pain that I have endured, both physically and mentally. Song Qiao said viciously, gritting his teeth. At this time, Lin Fan didn't know that his prank had already stimulated Song Qiao to the point of collapse. After quitting his practice, Lin Fan checked the package and couldn't help but sigh. It seemed that he had to go out to buy some medicine. He didn't know if the pharmacy was closed at this time. As soon as he opened the door, Lin Fan noticed Zhang Mingqi's dissatisfied face. Lin Fan was a little stunned. Did he offend this person again inadvertently? You? Lin Fan was interrupted by Zhang Mingqi as soon as he opened his mouth. Can you not be so stingy? If I didn't treat you to dinner yesterday, you didn't have to lock yourself in your room for a whole day and night. I even bought you a midnight snack yesterday. Lin Fan didn't know what to say for a moment. Should he explain that he had been in the room practicing and therefore didn't even hear Zhang Mingqi's voice? Forget it. I finally got Zhang Mingqi to change her attitude towards me, and she even felt a little guilty about it. If I explain it clearly, it would only cause trouble. The only solution now is to change the subject. How's Sasha? After hearing this, Zhang Mingqi's aggrieved little face immediately showed dissatisfaction. Why are Lin Fan and Sasha like this? They keep asking her about each other's situation. Are they in love with each other? Zhang Mingqi was not attracted to Lin Fan at this time, but she felt jealous because Lin Fan did not pay any attention to her words and only thought about Kong Shasha's situation. This feeling made her very uncomfortable. At this moment, Zhang Mingqi almost blurted out the word death, but when she thought that Kong Shasha was her good friend, she swallowed the words back, snorted coldly, and went straight back to the room. Lin Fan was speechless for a while. It was true that women's hearts were like needles in the sea. Without paying too much attention, Lin Fan went directly to the pharmacy to buy some Chinese medicinal materials. Although he didn't have the core materials, the old man Lin Changshan had prepared a lot for him. He believed that after buying these auxiliary materials, he would be able to use them for a while. Boss, can you give me a lower price? I'm an old customer. What do you think? At this moment, Lin Fan suddenly heard a familiar voice. Wasn't this the girl he rescued yesterday? This is too fate. Could it be God's hint? Hey little girl, you are an old customer, so I have always sold it to you at the lowest price. You can't let me lose money, right? A trace of helplessness emerged on the face of the drugstore owner. This is a drugstore, not a charity. But the girl gritted her teeth and silently glanced at her wallet. What a coincidence, we meet again. Lin Fan greeted him and glanced at the prescription casually, then a strange expression appeared on his face. Nice to meet you again. Thank you so much for yesterday. The girl said gratefully. If it wasn't for the person in front of me yesterday, I'm afraid I would have been ruined. You're welcome, but your medicine. I don't see any cardiovascular disease. Lin Fan said in surprise. The girl looked at Lin Fan in confusion. He also knew Chinese medicine. I bought this for our director. I am an orphan and grew up in an orphanage. The director is like my biological mother. The girl explained. Orphan? Am I not also an orphan, and I also met a benefactor who treated me as his own flesh and blood. Although he always called Lin Changshan old man, if something happened to Lin Changshan, Lin Fan believed that he would save him at all costs. Boss, use the card to pay for my medicine together with a share. Lin Fan handed over a bank card and said generously. This. How can this be possible? You helped me a lot yesterday, It's okay. I'm also an orphan and was raised by a benefactor. I understand how you feel. Treatment is important, and it's just a small amount of money. Seeing Lin Fan's friendliness and that she really had no money, the girl hesitated for a moment and nodded. Thank you. My name is Su Qingmore. Please leave me your contact information. I will definitely pay you back when I have the money. It's just a small amount of money. You don't have to pay it back. Just think of it as God being touched by you and letting you win the lottery. Looking at Lin Fan's clear and warm eyes, Su Qingmore couldn't help but ponder. This person didn't seem to have any messy ideas, and he was also a very good person. So if he was asked for help, would he agree? After hesitating for a moment, she asked shyly, are you free in 3 days? I want to ask you to do me a favor. Chapter 14, Seventh Mother's Daughter. A trace of confusion flashed across Lin Fan's face. This girl is quite shameless. After noticing the expression on Lin Fan's face, Su Qingmore blushed and quickly explained, if you don't have time, forget it. I was rude. It's nothing serious, what's the matter? It's just, one of my high school classmates' family is in the medical business. He said he could help me treat the dean, but there was something wrong with the way he looked at me. Our high school reunion is in 3 days, and the dean's illness can't be delayed any longer, so I wanted to give it a try, but there's no one around and I'm a little scared. A shield. If it were someone else, Lin Fan would probably call the person a psycho and leave, but for Su Qingmore, Lin Fan wanted to help. The reason is simple, it's because Su Qingmore is willing to take risks and contact people she doesn't want to contact for the sake of the dean who raised her. You want me to be your shield? Sure. Thank you, but it might be a little late that day, so. Oh, so if you stay overnight, the price will be different. Lin Fan joked. Su Qingmore was stunned by what he said. He wanted money. That's right, why should they help you for free? They have to bear the risks, so charging them is the most reasonable thing to do. Har, I'm just kidding. 3 days later, right? Leave me your phone number and contact me then. Yeah, thank you. After exchanging contact information, the two left the pharmacy directly. When Lin Fan returned to his residence, a strange and beautiful figure appeared in front of him. Who are you? Before Lin Fan could finish his words, he was immediately pulled into a bear hug. Xiao Lin Fan is so handsome, I'm Qimar. Seventh mother? It turns out that this person is the gambling king's seventh mother whom he has never met. Seventh mom. I'm almost suffocating. Hey, you're still not happy, brat. You're the only one who's experienced this kind of treatment, besides that old man Lin Changshan. Lin Fan was speechless. It turned out that this seventh aunt was just as the third aunt had said. She didn't feel like an elder at all. Instead, she was like a child who had not grown up. Of course I'm happy. Being hugged by a beauty like Qimar is every man's dream. Oh, Lin Changshan has taught you how to please girls with his smooth talk. Has Chichi been tricked into bed by you? Aunt Xiaoman, what are you talking about? Only a fool would be fooled by him, what? Hey, Chichi is still so cute when she's shy. Xiaofan, aren't you tempted? Lin Fan was speechless. He didn't even know what expression he should use to respond. However, if he lived with Qimar for a long time, Qimar would definitely be a great help in his journey of picking up girls. Sister Chichi is so beautiful that any man can't help but be attracted to her. After hearing this, Zhang Minqi felt much better and a hint of pride appeared on her face. So, did my coming here disturb you too? Then I, an old woman, would be guilty of something. Lin Fan felt that he was a little overwhelmed, and quickly changed the subject. Seventh mother is not an old woman. If she goes out with Sister Chichi, they are completely sisters. After finishing speaking, Lin Fan noticed that Zhang Minqi's expression looked a little strange, as if these words made her look old. Of course, if you go out with me and tell me that I'm your sister, no one will doubt it. He, I just like your sweet little mouth. Come, this is a gift from Qimar. It's because of this that Qimar came late. After Lin Fan took the document handed over by Lu Man and took a quick look at it, a strange expression appeared on his face. What's wrong? You don't like it? No. Chimar, you gave me a gambling house. Yes, Chimar won it specially. You should get used to the gambling industry. When the time is right, Chimar will transfer all the gambling houses under her name to you. Is the time right? Does it mean the day when I become her son-in-law? With Chimar's personality, her daughter must be a cute porcelain doll as cheerful as a pistachio. Then the dowry is too big, I can't afford the betrothal gift. Bang! Luman hit Lin Fan on the forehead and blocked his mouth, saying, "How disrespectful. You're taking advantage of Chimar." No, seventh aunt, don't you mean that you want me to be your son-in-law and give those as a dowry? Otherwise, you should pass these properties to your children. Lin Fan explained hurriedly. Lin Fan was speechless at this moment. He had never thought that Chimar would misunderstand his words to this extent. After hearing this, the smile on Luman's face disappeared, replaced by a look of sadness and self-blame. Lin Fan was slightly stunned. Did he say something wrong? After looking at Zhang Mingqi blankly, the latter sighed helplessly, walked to Lin Fan's side and whispered, "Aunt Xiaoman doesn't have any children. How is that possible? I heard from third mom that all 7 godmothers have a daughter." Lin Fan whispered in confusion. Auntie Xiaoman's situation was special. After she gave birth, the child was sent to the home of her deputy because of her enemy's pursuit. When the matter was resolved, it was discovered that Auntie Xiaoman's deputy was dead and the child was missing. Lin Fan suddenly realized, so Chimar's daughter was lost when she was very young? No wonder she looked like that when she said this. Has it been so many years since you found it? No, we searched all over the country. My mother and several aunts also helped to look for him through their own means, but there was no clue at all. Chimar, I didn't mean it. Don't be sad. I will help you find a solution. It's okay. Chimar has actually let it go. I just feel a little sorry for your sister. Let's not talk about these sad things. How do you feel after coming to Lingyun? Is there anything you are not used to? Do you want to go to Chimar's territory to learn some gambling skills? A smile reappeared on Luman's face. Although it seemed that the sadness had passed, Lin Fan knew that Chimar was only showing it on purpose. She was probably worried that he would blame himself for what he had just said. It depends on the situation. She said her daughter will be back in the next 2 days, and asked me to help protect her. I have to finish the work with fourth mother. Is Xiaoxinshin coming back? Then I have to stay a little longer. I haven't seen that girl for a long time. Luman's thoughts seemed to have been completely diverted, and he was looking forward to meeting Li Xin. Lin Fan secretly gave Zhang Mingqi a look, and then said, "Then Chimar, if there is nothing else, I will go back to my room first. I have been delayed in cultivation during this period of time." Luman glanced at Zhang Mingqi, who was standing beside him, and said with a wicked smile, "Seventh mom is an experienced person, she understands." Lin Fan couldn't help scratching his head. This jump was a bit too big. Chapter 15. He is my boyfriend. 3 days later. An airplane slowly landed at Lingyun City Airport. A beautiful girl wearing sunglasses walked down the plane. Even in this airport full of beautiful women, countless beautiful stewardesses felt inferior when they saw the girl. The girl was Li Xin. Although she didn't understand why her mother insisted on returning to China by herself, she could tell from her tone that something big was going to happen. She even left her a man's phone number. Li Xin couldn't help but smile. Man? Can men be trusted? My mother has never relied on a man in her life. Even the men under her only followed her out of admiration. So when Li Xin was very young, she believed that men were unreliable and she had to rely on herself in everything. After thinking for a while, Li Xin threw the note with Lin Fan's cell phone number in her arms into the trash can. After arriving at the check-in counter, Li Xin waited for a long time before her luggage arrived. However, when she picked up her luggage and prepared to leave, she noticed something unusual. The man didn't even confirm the number, so how did he know that the luggage behind his own suitcase was his? There are already 3 or 4 suitcases of his type. After thinking for a moment, Li Xin stopped, picked up her phone and dialed a number. However, to Li Xin's surprise, the bald uncle did not answer a call. Under normal circumstances, he should have come to pick me up, but he didn't show up. There was only one possibility: something happened on his side. Hello? Uncle Baldy, you're here. Okay, I get it. While pretending to be on the phone, Li Shan secretly glanced at the suspicious man, only to find that he had also taken out his phone and seemed to be chatting with someone. There is indeed a problem. Without having time to think, Li Shan pulled her suitcase and walked straight to the crowded restroom. This restroom faces the hall directly and there are more than 1,000 people around. I think the other party would not dare to do anything and can only take this opportunity to escape. As for the idea of asking for help from the airport, Li Shan gave up decisively. It would be useless even if she asked for help, after all, she had no evidence at all. And since the other party dared to follow me like this, I'm afraid the airport has already made some arrangements. At the same time, Tu Hong glanced at the time and said, the flight that mischanged should arrive in an hour, right? Let's set off now. So early? We only need half an hour to get to the airport. Tu Hong's driver asked in surprise. What if there's a traffic jam? Are we going to make Miss wait? Let's go. Yes, then the two of us. Just us. The eldest lady doesn't like to show off. Then why don't you talk to young Master Lin? I think Sister Rose seems to be trying to bring the two of them together. Tu Hong thought about it and shook his head. Since Sister Rose didn't make any special arrangements, let's not do this unnecessary thing. After all, the young lady is not interested in men. It would be bad if we make the young lady unhappy. I think Sister Rose has already made some arrangements for the future. A hint of disappointment flashed across the driver's face, but it was fleeting. Tu Hong did not notice this. After all, no one would doubt a brother who had followed him for more than 20 years. Unfortunately, Tu Hong's trust almost caused him to cause a disaster. On the other side, Lin Fan looked in the mirror and couldn't help but smile with satisfaction when he saw himself in a well-ironed suit. It is true that clothes make the man, and gold ornaments make the Buddha. The godmothers have good taste. This outfit perfectly brings out his handsomeness. After arriving downstairs, Lin Fan got into the Lamborghini Bull that he had borrowed from his third aunt Xu Mian and drove towards where Su Qingmor was. 10 minutes later, when Su Qingmor saw Lin Fan walking down from the big Bull, his eyes widened. Although she didn't know the name of the car, she was familiar with Lamborghini and its eye-catching logo. Is this your car? Su Qingmor asked in disbelief. I borrowed it. How about it? Is it enough to support you? Lin Fan said with a smile. This is not good. Will people think that I am a woman who only cares about money? Su Qingmor said hesitantly. That's irrelevant, okay? Let's make an assumption. If you like someone, would you care that he comes from a poor family? Of course I don't mind. As long as I love him, nothing else matters. Yeah, so being rich is a sin. What you like is your boyfriend as a person. Whether he is rich or not is not important to you. The difference is that if you don't have money, you may be looked down upon by your classmates, but if you are rich, you will definitely not be looked down upon by your classmates. Su Qingmor nodded blankly. Lin Fan didn't say anything more. He just opened the car door and asked Su Qingmor to get in the car in a very gentlemanly manner. Along the way, Su Qingmor subconsciously looked at Lin Fan several times. Compared to the luxury car that had no appeal to him, the carefully dressed Lin Fan made him feel more shocked. He is so handsome. Thinking of this, Su Qingmor glanced out the car window again. What does his handsomeness have to do with me? The person who can easily borrow this kind of car is completely different from me. I am destined to have no chance to meet him in this life. Not long after, the car stopped at the agreed location, Qianyuan Hotel. After getting off the bus, Lin Fan couldn't help but wonder, where are your classmates? Why are they nowhere to be seen? They should all be inside. In order to avoid being discovered, I deliberately said it 10 minutes late. The party should have already started by now. Lin Fan was speechless. If that was the case, then wasn't he just borrowing this car for nothing? It seems like you're very worried about me. Don't be surprised by my performance later. Su Qingmor was stunned and couldn't help feeling a little anxious. Don't act too nice, just in case, in the future, just show your appreciation and don't let anyone find out. Lin Fan was speechless again. So, as a shield, I don't even have a chance to show my abilities. I'm not trying to take advantage of you. Now I can't even put on a show. I'm afraid I'll be the most embarrassing and least visible shield in history. Okay, I'll try not to talk when we get inside. After arriving at the private room, a man jumped up from his chair the moment he saw Su Qingmor. He said with a gentleman's smile on his face, Chingmore, it's been a long time since we last met. You are still as beautiful as ever. Who is this? Su Chingmore took a step back, hugged Lin Fan's arm with a red face, and stammered, he is my boyfriend. Lin Fan was speechless. You said this without any confidence. Do you believe it yourself? Why are you so shy? Can't I show it off? After saying that, Lin Fan extended his hand with an aristocratic look and said, hello, my name is Lin Fan, I'm Chingmo's boyfriend, nice to meet you. Chapter 16, I really didn't have fun. The rich second generation opposite frowned slightly. Su Chingmore's boyfriend. Why have I never heard that Su Chingmore has a boyfriend? Really? You're really awesome, brother. You actually managed to hook up with our school beauty. It seems like you have some skills. No, who can tell for sure about feelings? Once he comes, nothing can stop him. Besides, I've already introduced myself. The rich second generation narrowed his eyes slightly, and after a moment of silence, he said, Duan Hengyi. Lin Fan smiled and nodded, then took Su Chingmore's arm and sat down in the empty seat. After taking his seat, Lin Fan asked quietly, is that the suitor who's in the medical field you mentioned? Yes, that's him. His family has a strong background. You should be careful and try not to offend him. Lin Fan smiled bitterly. He knew that Su Chingmore was worried about him, but didn't she ever think that she had already offended him when she agreed to be a shield? All right Hengyi, come and sit down. This dinner is your treat. No one will dare to pick up their chopsticks if you don't sit down. Lin Fan looked over when he heard the voice, and after a quick look he had an idea in his mind. He thought that this girl should be the most beautiful girl in the class. It was a pity that with a beauty like Su Chingmore, her looks might not have been that eye-catching in high school. Duan Hengyi glanced at Chang Anan who was walking towards him. He originally thought that Su Chingmore would not come, so he flirted with Chang Anan in private. But now that Su Chingmore is here and there is a big meal in front of them, who would want to eat her, Chang Anan, as an appetizer? Chang Anan originally wanted to hold Duan Hengyi's arm, but unexpectedly Duan Hengyi walked straight past Chang Anan, which made Chang Anan feel a little embarrassed. Brother, you are so capable. You actually got our school beauty. Do you have any experience to share? A male classmate nearby asked curiously. Lin Fan couldn't help but glance at Su Chingmore, as if to say, there's nothing I can do, I don't want to talk, but they keep pestering me to talk. I don't have any experience. After all, this is my first love. If I have to say something, it's that I really like Chingmo. Wow, I'm so envious. Chingmo, you are amazing. You found such a handsome boyfriend who loves you so much. Being handsome has basically no value after entering college, but these people are college students at this time and still have many fantasies about handsome boys. Looking at everyone's performance, Duan Hengyi's face became a little gloomy. This time, he organized a class reunion and spent all the money himself. How could he let this random person disturb him? When he was annoyed, a small hand couldn't help but hold Duan Hengyi's hand under the table. Duan Hengyi looked down, only to find that Chang Anan was holding his hand with a red face and trembling. Duan Hengyi thought for a moment and then whispered, You like me, don't you? Then go and toast the man Su Chingmore brought with you, and try to spill the wine on him so he'll leave. Chang Anan was stunned. What was he going to do? You? I don't like women who always ask questions, go. Chang Anan nodded, picked up the wine glass and walked towards Lin Fan. Hesitantly looking at Duan Hengyi, Chang Anan saw that Duan Hengyi looked gloomy at this moment, so she had no choice but to put on a smile and said, Lin Fan, right. Chingmore and I were good sisters back then. Now that you have won her over, you must have my sisterly wine. Oh. Chang Anan accidentally tripped over the leg of a chair, then leaned forward and the wine in the glass spilled onto Lin Fan. Lin Fan could have dodged it, but if he had dodged it would be Su Chingmore who would be in trouble. After seeing Lin Fan accept the baptism of wine, Chang Anan hurriedly stepped forward and apologized, I'm sorry, I just tripped accidentally. Lin Fan didn't get angry, and said politely, Sorry everyone, I have to leave for a moment. Having said that, Lin Fan walked out of the private room and headed towards the restroom. After wiping his clothes, Lin Fan was about to leave when a familiar figure walked out of the room. Zhang Hongyuan. You did a great job. I'll tell my manager to give you a raise. Thank you, Mr. Zhang. A waitress walked out of the private room and said excitedly, "Well, go out." Before Zhang Hongyuan could utter the word bar, he saw a person who made his legs tremble. When the waiter saw someone in the bathroom, he immediately covered his face and ran out. "Mr. Lin, this is something we both wanted to do." She agreed to it. Zhang Hongyuan planned to pick up two beauties this week, but both attempts failed because of Lin Fan. Zhang Hongyuan felt that his horoscope with beautiful women was incompatible recently, so he found a waitress in the hotel who was pretty but not beautiful to vent his feelings. Unexpectedly, he met this guy again. "You're going to give her a raise?" Lin Fan looked at Zhang Hongyuan in confusion. "Yes, this hotel was opened specially for me by my father. The yuan in Chen yuan is my yuan. I really didn't force him. That young Master Lin is here to eat, right? I will ask someone to send more food over. Also, young Master Lin will pay the full bill when he comes to our place in the future." Zhang Hongyuan was scared by Lin Fan. He knew the world's richest man, and the big sister Rose was also related to him. He couldn't afford to offend this guy. Spend the money as usual, and spend more. Zhang Hongyuan thought he was going to be beaten, and the extra money would be medical expenses. He was so scared that he almost knelt down on the spot. "Mr. Lin, I really didn't lie, What are you afraid of? Are you not happy when I let you slaughter a fat sheep?" Zhang Hongyuan was stunned. To kill a fat sheep? Is there such a good thing? 10 minutes later, when Lin Fan returned to the private room, he found Duan Hengyi already sitting in his seat. Lin Fan's face darkened, and he knew that this matter was related to this kid. Su Qingmor saw Lin Fan coming back and quickly stood up and said, "You're back, let's go." Su Qingmor had already understood Duan Hengyi's intentions, so she thought there was no point in staying. Besides, Lin Fan had already been humiliated, so how could she have the nerve to let Lin Fan stay with her? "Don't be in a hurry. We can still sing after we finish eating. I haven't had enough fun yet. Waiter, go and adjust the setting. Bring a few more bottles of good wine. I'll give you your commission." It's no wonder that Duan Hengyi's carefree spending made many people present secretly think he was very handsome. He is simply a super rich man who doesn't take money seriously. But Su Qingmor hesitated. She wanted to leave, but didn't know how to start. "Don't worry, you really didn't have a good time. I have a car and can take you home in the evening." Lin Fan smiled, and a sly smile appeared on his face, indicating that revenge was about to begin. Chapter 17, Incompetent Means. Duan Hengyi glanced at Lin Fan. "Is this kid dissatisfied? But it's okay, at least Su Qingmor stayed. If he seized this opportunity, Su Qingmor would be his." Soon, the waiter finished debugging the equipment and then left the room to prepare drinks. "Come here." As soon as the waiter walked out of the private room, Zhang Hongyuan called him over. The waitress was struggling internally at this moment. She had heard of Zhang Hongyuan's reputation a long time ago. He was a playboy. Will she fall in love with me? Will I encounter the rules of money for the first time in my life? This is my first time, Mr. Zhang, please be gentle. But after you get me, you must not abandon me, even if you have another woman, I will accept you," said the waitress shyly. Zhang Hongyuan was a little confused for a moment, and then felt deeply humiliated. "Damn, even if I'm blind, I won't fall for you, right? And you don't even look at your age. You think you're humorous, right?" Zhang Hongyuan asked with a serious face. Isn't it?" the waiter asked blankly. "Nonsense. Let me ask you, what did the private room you are in charge of tell you? They wanted wine, and said the wine would be in accordance with my commission, it didn't matter what they drank." Zhang Hongyuan raised the corners of his mouth slightly, looking quite arrogant. "It seems that he is really a fat sheep. Go get those bottles of wine I have in my office." Your office? Are you sure you don't want to take me to your office? You think too much. Also, if you continue to slander me like this, do you believe I will fire you? I'll go right away, right away." Soon, more than a dozen bottles of red wine that were not even available on the market were delivered. No one paid much attention to them and they opened the red wine and started drinking it like beer. 10 minutes later, Duan Hengyi's mind began to stir. He turned to look at Cheng Anan beside him and said, "Go and frame that Lin Fan and say that he took advantage of you." But if that's the case, my reputation. Do you want fame or me? Besides, he's just taking advantage of you, not asking you to sleep with him. What's the reputation? Oh. After Chang Anan stood up and walked towards Lin Fan, Duan Hengyi kicked a male classmate next to him. The latter understood, cleared his throat and said, "Classmates, do you still remember the love song duet we sang when we first entered school? That was the beginning of our friendship. How about we reminisce about it again?" After hearing these words, Su Qingmore's body trembled noticeably, because that song was the one he sang with Duan Hengyi. At that time, it was the teacher who forced me to go on stage. Do I have to do the same now? Although they were both forced to go on the shelves, the difference was that now there was Lin Fan by his side. If he went, wouldn't Lin Fan lose face? He came here to help me, I absolutely can't do this. I'm sorry, I've forgotten how to sing that song. We don't want that song, we want the reminiscence of youth. Back then, the school beauty and Master Duan were a perfect match, and that song is also the reminiscence of our youth. It doesn't matter what song we sing, we want the duet of the two of you, don't you agree? Right. Yes, school beauty, please give me a favor. Everyone is out having fun, don't spoil the fun. Because of her living environment, Su Qingmore is not good at saying no, otherwise she would not have asked Lin Fan to come and help. At this moment, Su Qingmore didn't know what to do and could only look to Lin Fan for help. Go sing, it's okay. Lin Fan said with a smile. At this time, Lin Fan had already noticed Chang Anan slowly walking towards him. If Su Qingmore did not leave his side, Duan Hengyi's plan would probably fail. He was curious about what means Duan Hengyi wanted to use to deal with him. Su Qingmore sighed, stood up silently and took the microphone. Classmates, since Qingmore has forgotten the song we sang, let's sing another one. Although we are no longer together and will go our separate ways next year, I still hope that everyone can live a good life. Let's sing a song to wish everyone a good life. Lin Fan couldn't help but smile. This was a very high-sounding statement. The song title was like this, but the lyrics were completely different. Lin Fan, right? Your girlfriend is singing with Mr. Duan. Aren't you jealous? Chang Anan sat next to Lin Fan and asked in a low voice. Why should you be jealous? It's just a song. Can you get promoted to the top after singing Duan Hengyi? Lin Fan said indifferently, and then waited for Chang Anan's next words. Sing a love song to my wife. You have worked so hard silently for so many years. We have walked through the difficult and happy times together. Tears and laughter fill our ordinary lives. When it was Su Qingmore's turn to sing, Su Qingmore really couldn't sing the word dear, and ended up just standing there stupidly holding the microphone. Molestation. Suddenly, Chang Anan screamed loudly, successfully rescuing Su Qingmore and also successfully pushing Lin Fan to the forefront. You actually did this to me. Everyone gathered around involuntarily, and Lin Fan was a little stunned at this time. He had thought of many possibilities, but he never expected that Duan Hengyi would use such a stupid method. This is simply lowering your IQ. My friend, you are Qingmore's boyfriend and we treat you as one of our own. But isn't it a bit too much for you to do this to our classmate? Duan Hengyi asked with a righteous look. Lin Fan looked up at Duan Hengyi and said, Who do you think is prettier, An or Qingmo? Duan Hengyi was slightly stunned, not understanding what Lin Fan was going to do, but he still said, Chang Anan is very beautiful, but Qingmo is indeed better than her. After hearing this, Chang Anan lowered her head immediately and a sad expression appeared on her face. Then it's over. Does it make sense for me to make a move on someone who is worse than my girlfriend? Duan Hengyi didn't know how to respond for a moment, so he turned around and looked at the classmate behind him who asked to sing. Your girlfriend is pretty and you still touch others. You deserve to die. Come on, brothers. Bang. Lin Fan kicked the coffee table, and their wine bottles fell to the ground one after another. Outside the door. Master Zhang, there's movement inside. Zhang Hongyuan was almost falling asleep in his chair at this time. After hearing the waiter's words, he immediately perked up and asked, Are you sure it was the sound of a wine bottle breaking? Sure. Zhang Hongyuan straightened his clothes and it was finally his turn to go on stage. Chapter 18. Something happened. Inside the room. Looking at the scattered drinks on the ground, Duan Hengyi's face darkened and he asked, What do you mean by this? I have to ask you this. For Qingmo's sake, I want to let it go. It seems that you need to be taught a lesson. Teach me a lesson. That depends on whether you have the ability to do so. You. Crunch. The door of the private room was pushed open and Zhang Hongyuan walked in, followed by two waiters. Excuse me, everyone. I'm the boss here. Due to a mistake made by the waiter, the wine that needed to be paid for first was delivered directly here. Please pay for the 17 bottles of red wine that were delivered later before continuing with your business. It's just 17 bottles of red wine. Is this how you treat guests at Qianyuan Hotel? Duan Hengyi frowned. How we entertain guests is none of your business. If you want to pay, please pay. If not, then please shut up. Zhang Hongyuan's words seemed polite, but his tone was not polite at all, and even had a hint of arrogance. Come to think of it, given Zhang Hongyuan's status and how arrogant he is, Duan Hengyi is probably not even worthy of carrying his shoes. Isn't it just money? Swipe the card. Bite. Insufficient balance. Duan Hengyi was stunned and said in astonishment, insufficient balance. Impossible, I have 2 million in this card, and you tell me that the balance is insufficient. How much? 2 million. Zhang Hongyuan asked in shock. Duan Hengyi had a smug look on his face and said, yes, 2 million, so your machine is broken. You're an idiot. The wine in your hand was bought by me at an auction last year for 2.7 million. This bottle alone cost 3 million. 3 million. Everyone couldn't help but look at the bottle of wine in Duan Hengyi's hand. 3 million for a bottle of wine? This is more valuable than gold. You are a shady shop, you want to rip people off, right? Rip him off. We have clearly marked prices here. Bring him the bill. Also, do you need me to show you the auction receipt? The total price of those 17 bottles of wine is 27 million. You told me you have 2 million and you think it's enough to pay. In fact, these 17 bottles of wine are indeed expensive, but the total value is only 3 million. The bottle of wine in Duan Hengyi's hand is the most expensive, and it was indeed bought by Zhang Hongyuan for 2 million. Except for this one certificate, all others are fake. I will find a way to pay the money. Now you get out first. We still have things to do. That's ridiculous. You opened a wine without paying me, and now you want me to get out? Who do you think I am? As he spoke, Zhang Hongyuan's attitude became even more arrogant. He looked at the people in front of him and said, I tell you, you'd better gather the money quickly, otherwise no one will be able to. Young Master Lin. Lin Fan smiled secretly in his heart. This Zhang Hongyuan's acting was quite realistic. Zhang Hongyuan's words, Mr. Lin, stunned everyone present. It turned out that this man was a young master. Young master, why didn't you tell me earlier? Why are you pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger? Mr. Lin, you didn't even tell me you were coming. I was wondering why that big guy at the door looked so familiar. I didn't even entertain you when you came. You deserve to die. By the way, are these people your friends? As soon as Zhang Hongyuan said this, everyone looked at Lin Fan with anticipation. Now it seemed that as long as Lin Fan nodded, the 27 million would not be a problem at all. Friends? If the people who are about to attack you are also your friends, then they count. What? These bastards are going to attack you. I think they are really tired of living. Zhang Hongyuan said with a gloomy face. Seeing that he was almost shocked, Lin Fan was too lazy to continue acting and said directly, I didn't expect this hotel was yours. I wanted to leave directly, but I can't let you lose too much. There are 26 people here in total. Well, I'll take an extra million. Suching more and I have a total of 3 million. You can swipe the card. Hey, Master Lin, you are slapping me in the face. You are giving me face by coming to eat. How can I take your money? Just when everyone thought it could be free, Zhang Hongyuan's next sentence poured cold water on everyone's head. I definitely don't dare to take Master Lin's money, but don't even think about running away. There are still 24 million left. No one can leave without paying. Of course, Master Lin, you can leave at any time. How about I send you off? Lin Fan nodded, and just as he was about to say something, his cell phone rang. Hello? Uncle Baldy. What's going on? Mr. Lin, have you picked up the young lady? When I arrived at the airport, they said that the young lady was picked up by a young man. I was a little worried. If it was really you who picked her up, then I would be relieved. Miss? Your daughter? I didn't answer the phone. I didn't even know she was coming to Lingyun today. After saying this, Lin Fan and Tu Hong both frowned. It seemed like something had happened. It's not right that Li Shin didn't call you. Ask the airport to retrieve the disembarkation video of that flight right now. I'll rush over right away. Okay, I'll do it right away. After hanging up the phone, Lin Fan turned around and glanced at Zhang Hongyuan and said, "You can send Ching Mo back. Also, her benefactor seems to be unwell, so please help make arrangements." Understood, Mr. Lin, you go ahead and do your work first. Everyone wanted to ask Lin Fan to plead for mercy, but when they were about to open their mouths, Lin Fan had already run out of the private room. Soon, the roar of an engine was heard, and it could even be faintly heard in the private room. It's over, what should I do with so much money? Everyone looked at Su Qingmo at the same time. Now they might just have to beg her for help. Sister-in-law, please go out first. I'll take care of it here and send you back soon. Su Qingmo wanted to explain the relationship between himself and Lin Fan, but after hesitating for a moment, he shut his mouth and left the private room obediently. She knew that it was useless for her to stay. She knew very well that she had no relationship with Lin Fan at all. Why should she ask Lin Fan to help her solve the problem of more than 20 million? Lin Fan had said before that as long as nothing happened, Zhang Hongyuan could do whatever he wanted, so he didn't care about the situation here. At this moment, all his attention was on Li Shin. Mr. Lin, I checked the video, and there is no sign of the young lady. I am now checking the young lady's flight. It seems something really happened. I'm already at the airport, let's talk when we meet. After Lin Fan hung up the phone, he ran directly into the airport. At this time, two people dressed as workers were carrying a sack and walking out. Stop. Lin Fan frowned slightly and spoke directly to stop him. Chapter 19 Rescue. After hearing Lin Fan's shout, the other party quickly hugged the sack and ran out. Lin Fan dodged and rushed behind the two men, kicking one of them in the lower back. The two lost their balance and fell to the ground. Lin Fan hurriedly stepped forward and untied the sack, and then a girl appeared in front of Lin Fan. Fortunately, I showed him the photos, and it seems that I did not save the wrong person. When Lin Fan was about to pick up Li Shin, a murderous aura suddenly came. According to Lin Fan's many years of experience, this murderous aura was meters away. There's a gunman. Lin Fan didn't have time to think about it, and quickly jumped to the side with Li Shin in his arms. Bang! With a gunshot, people in the airport were thrown into chaos. Lin Fan cursed inwardly, what is the purpose of this airport security check? How could someone bring a gun in? Taking advantage of the commotion, Lin Fan quickly hugged Li Shin and hid. If he tried to escape now, he would be hindered by the people around him. Since the other party even brought guns in and dared to shoot in the airport, I'm afraid there may be snipers in the airport. Buzz. Lin Fan answered the phone, and Tu Hong's anxious voice was heard from the other end. Mr. Lin, I think I heard a gunshot. Are you okay? Not yet. I found Li Shin. You come here alone. No one else can be trusted. Tu Hong knew that since there was a problem with the flight and the other party knew that the young lady would get off the plane today, then his side must have been infiltrated. I see. I'll be right there. After Lin Fan mentioned the location, he hung up the phone and then used the reflection from his sunglasses to check all possible sniper locations. Even so, Lin Fan did not dare to act rashly, for fear that the sniper was waiting for the moment when he relaxed and showed his head. Mr. Lin, I'm here. As Tu Hong's voice sounded, the airport security brigade rushed in directly. Two security officers with riot shields quickly came to Lin Fan's side and protected Lin Fan as he left. Bang! As a gunshot rang out, a security officer suddenly fell to the ground. Lin Fan thought to himself that something was wrong and quickly jumped out of the airport holding Li Shin. Bang! Several gunshots rang out, and as several security officers fell to the ground, Lin Fan ran out of the airport in danger. Mr. Lin, are you injured? How is the wound? Lin Fan glanced at the wound on his left arm, shook his head and said, it's not a big deal. The riot shield changed the trajectory of the bullet. I only have a superficial wound. Damn it, the other party was able to use an armor-piercing bullet. I'm glad that young Master Lin is okay. The eldest lady. He just fainted. Let's retreat quickly. The other party is obviously well prepared. Just as Lin Fan and the other person were running towards the car not far away, a silver light suddenly flashed over. Lin Fan quickly pushed Tu Hong away, thus avoiding the danger of Tu Hong being directly hit. You go first, I'll cover you. Tu Hong gritted his teeth. Although he couldn't afford to take responsibility if something happened to Lin Fan, he also knew that if he stayed, he would only be a hindrance. He might not be able to deal with the other party even in his prime, let alone himself who was half crippled now. Mr. Lin, be careful. I'll take the young lady away first. Don't fight. I know. As he spoke, the other party swung his knife towards Lin Fan. Lin Fan was not slow either. He pulled out his belt and hit the other party's wrist. The opponent did not dare to fight head-on and quickly retreated to avoid the attack. When he noticed that the car behind Lin Fan started, he no longer wanted to fight and ran directly towards the motorcycle beside him. How could Lin Fan not notice this? He ran forward quickly. When he saw that the other party had already got on the motorcycle, Lin Fan was still more than 10 meters away from him. This guy runs so fast. Without thinking too much, Lin Fan took out 2 coins from his pocket and threw them at the front and rear wheels of the motorcycle respectively. Bang! The tire burst the moment it was hit by the coin, and the killer riding on the motorcycle was thrown backwards because of the burst tire. The moment he landed, the killer quickly rolled twice on the ground to relieve the force, then immediately stood up and prepared to fight Lin Fan. However, the situation at this time is completely opposite to the previous one. Lin Fan's goal is only to stop the killer's pursuit. Now there is not even a bicycle around, and the pursuit mission is definitely impossible to complete. In this case, why should he fight with this guy? Just by looking at the lying posture, you can tell that the other party is a Japanese soldier. As for who sent him, he should be very clear in his mind. There is no need for him to fight a life and death battle with the other party. After shaking the belt, Lin Fan instantly put it back around his waist, then turned around and ran. This scene stunned the killer, but he suddenly remembered that Lin Fan seemed to be one of the targets. If that was the case, then he seemed to have no reason to let him escape. Barga! The killer shouted and rushed towards Lin Fan. However, before Lin Fan ran far, 2 more Japanese soldiers holding samurai swords appeared in front of him. Lin Fan smiled bitterly, it seemed that he had no choice but to fight. On the other side. After driving for a distance and about to enter the downtown area, Tu Hong couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Even if the other party is very bold, they would not dare to attack in a downtown area. If they are not careful, not to mention the security team, even the army may intervene. At that time, it will not be an individual problem, but a problem between countries. Squeak. As a large truck drifted past, the friction sound of more than a dozen tires caused Tu Hong to have a brief tinnitus even through the car window. By the time Tu Hong recovered, it was too late to brake and he crashed directly into the truck. The airbag was deployed, and Tu Hong barely climbed out of the car, holding tightly in his hand the pistol prepared in the car. Even if the lady was caught, it had to be after his death. However, at this moment, a burst of gunfire rang out, and a smile appeared on Tu Hong's face. It seemed that his people had arrived. After the hail of bullets lasted for minutes, the gunfire gradually stopped. Tu Hong did not relax, but became even more nervous. Bold brother, where are you? I'm here. Soon, 2 people from Tu Hong's pistol team came over and reported respectfully, the pistol team has successfully defeated the enemy. 3 brothers died, seriously. Prepare the pension for the deceased brother. Also, send me and the young lady away quickly. Tu Hong was very glad that he had secretly trained such a team. He was also very glad that he did not transfer these people away because gun licenses were useless in the Japanese country. Now he had saved his life. Just as the pistol team was about to help Tu Hong, with the roar of the engine, Yi Hongguang rushed over at an incredible speed. Chapter 20 Treatment. The pistol team stopped supporting and took out the pistols from their waists again, ready for battle. Squeak. Don't move. Is this person young Master Lin? Tu Hong asked tentatively. Your people? Lin Fan asked, but they did not show up at this time. It's mine, Mr. Lin, don't worry. Lin Fan finally breathed a sigh of relief and walked out from behind the car. It's great that young Master Lin is okay. I have lived up to Sister Rose's trust in me. Tu Hong forced a smile. At this time, due to the collision, Tu Hong's internal organs were churning. He then spat out a mouthful of blood and fainted. Half an hour later, Lin Fan and his two companions and several members of the pistol team arrived at the gate of Lingyun City Hospital. On their way, Lin Fan also got a general understanding of the pistol team. These people were specially trained by Tu Hong just in case. Each of them has a legal gun license to reduce unnecessary trouble when such situations occur. The other group of people who stayed behind were the aftermath team. In addition to handling the aftermath, they were also responsible for liaising with the authorities. Basically, handing this matter over to them meant it would come to an end. Then, Mr. Lin, we will take the prisoners you captured back first. Please ask Bold Brother to contact us after he wakes up. The captain of the pistol team said respectfully. Tu Hong had already explained before that Lin Fan's identity was extraordinary, and he also saved Li Meigui's life, so everyone must treat him with courtesy when they see him. Now that Lin Fan has captured the opponent's killer alive, this group of pistol soldiers who live on the edge of a knife naturally admire Lin Fan very much. Good. After Lin Fan responded simply, he followed the hospital's ambulance bed and walked directly into the room. When Zhang Wenqi saw this scene, she was also scared. No wonder Aunt Rose asked Lin Fan to protect Li Xin. It seemed that the matter was really serious. The wound on your arm, are you okay? Zhang Wenqi asked with some concern. Lin Fan shook his head. I have already pressed the acupoints to stop the bleeding. It's just a superficial wound. It will be fine after a bandage. You should go check on them. Here is the key to my office. There is a first aid kit inside. Please do the emergency treatment first. I will come to you after I arrange for Xinshin and Uncle Baldhead. Emergency bandaging is the basics of the basics for Lin Fan. Lin Chanshan has given him professional training since he was a child, so this little situation is a piece of cake for Lin Fan. After bandaging the wound, Lin Fan couldn't help but look around Zhang Wenqi's office. When Lin Fan saw the clothes that Zhang Wenqi had just changed on the bed, he couldn't help but start to have wild thoughts. The bed, the removed clothes, and Zhang Wenqi's lovely appearance made Lin Fan feel that this was completely an inducement to commit a crime. With nothing to do, Lin Fan folded Zhang Wenqi's clothes and put them in Zhang Wenqi's closet. When he was about to put the clothes into the bag, a set of JK caught Lin Fan's attention. I couldn't tell that Zhang Wenqi likes these. That means you and I have the same interests and hobbies. Crunch. Lin Fan, how are you? For a moment, the room fell into a brief silence. Both of them felt extremely awkward. Lin Fan even felt that he would be thrown out of the window by Zhang Wenqi in the next second. That. The two spoke in unison, and after looking at each other, Zhang Wenqi couldn't help but lower her head. I saw your clothes on the bed and thought of helping you fold them. I don't have the habit or idea of taking other people's clothes, don't get me wrong. Lin Fan explained. No. It's okay, Sasha insisted on buying me that dress. I don't usually wear it like this. After the explanation, Zhang Wenqi suddenly became even more shy. Why should she explain all this? How are Uncle Baldy and Li Xin doing? Lin Fan asked, and threw the things in his hand back into the bag, as if nothing had happened. After hearing this, Zhang Wenqi finally recovered from her shyness and said quickly, Uncle Bald is fine, but Xinshin seems to have been injected with psychiatric drugs. Our hospital does not have antibodies for this type of drug. According to the analysis of the hospital's special team, I am afraid that in a few hours Xinshin's nerves will be completely necrotic because of the drugs. Do you have any solution? I'll go take a look. Lin Fan frowned slightly, then walked out of the office directly. They were silent along the way. It seemed that the two of them were still feeling awkward, and they also seemed to be worried about Li Xin's safety, so they formed a tacit understanding that silence is golden. After arriving at the operating room, Lin Fan simply felt Li Xin's pulse and knew exactly what kind of poison Li Xin had been infected with. What's going on? Do you have any solution? Zhang Wenqi asked with some concern. Her mother was not around, and now Lin Fan was her last hope. Yes, I've encountered this thing before. Although it's a bit troublesome, it can be treated. That's great, you should treat Xinshin right away. I need silver needles, and I also need the patient to take off his clothes. Lin Fan had a feeling that Zhang Wenqi might think he had bad intentions again. Hurry up and prepare the silver needles. Everyone get out. Lin Fan was stunned. Zhang Mingqi's performance surprised him. Has she changed her mind about him? So should I continue to complete the task assigned by Sixth Mother and conquer Zhang Mingqi? As he thought about it, Zhang Mingqi's figure and the black lace slowly overlapped, and Lin Fan couldn't help but bleed from his nose. What's wrong? Why is your nose bleeding? Zhang Mingqi asked worriedly. Lin Fan subconsciously wiped the blood from his nose and said awkwardly, "It's okay. I just had some internal injuries from the car crash. I'll be fine after I go back and drink some herbal medicine. Thank you for your hard work." Looking at Xinshin and Uncle Baldy's situation, I'm afraid the battle was very intense. Zhang Mingqi wanted to ask about Lin Fan's health, but when the words came to her lips, she couldn't say anything. It's okay. Please help me take off the patient's clothes. I will make some preliminary preparations. Good. 10 minutes later, Li Shin's body was already full of silver needles, and beads of sweat appeared on Lin Fan's forehead. To cure this poison, the silver needle is just a guide, and the main thing still depends on Lin Fan's true qi. After this wave of true energy, Lin Fan felt that all his efforts in seclusion over the past few days had basically been wasted. When Lin Fan removed the last silver needle, he staggered due to excessive consumption and almost fell into Li Shin's arms. Li Shin also slowly opened her eyes because she had successfully detoxified herself, and said blankly, "Where am I?" You're awake." Lin Fan breathed a sigh of relief and said breathlessly. Li Shin looked at Lin Fan, who was breathing heavily, then looked down at herself, then screamed and slapped Lin Fan directly in the face. Chapter 21, Extreme Feminism. Bang! Lin Fan was hit hard by the slap and fell to the ground. Feeling the pain on his face, Lin Fan felt like crying but had no tears. Who did I offend? Xinshin, you finally woke up, that's great. Zhang Mingqi hugged Li Shin excitedly. Chichi? You were caught too? Li Shin, who was out of her mind, asked blankly. No, this is a hospital. You were poisoned and it was Lin Fan who saved you. Lin ouch. Seeing that Lin Fan had been lying on the ground and hadn't gotten up, Zhang Mingqi remembered what Lin Fan had just said about being injured. Lin Fan, are you okay? It's okay. It's just that the slap just now almost made me meet the killer I killed again. This, Xinshin, is like this. I'll explain it to you later. Can you get out now? I'll try my best. Lin Fan struggled to get up and slowly walked out of the operating room. After Lin Fan left, Li Shin asked with a blushing face while putting on her clothes, Xinshin, who is that scoundrel? He is the mother's godson, his name is Lin Fan, and he was the one who saved you before. So it was him, then why did he take off my clothes? I took it off. He wanted to save you, so of course he couldn't be separated by clothes. He treated you despite his internal injuries. Don't wrongly accuse him. Li Shin's face darkened and she said unhappily, unfair. Men are not good people. I'm afraid he just wants to take advantage of me. Zhang Mingqi didn't say anything else. She knew Li Shin's character and there was no point in saying more at this time. 10 minutes later, Zhang Mingqi returned to her office. At this time, Lin Fan was sitting on her bed, somewhat weakly, practicing cross-legged like a master in a martial arts novel. Is there really such a thing as cultivation and true qi? As she thought about it, Zhang Mingqi became more and more curious about Lin Fan. After noticing the sound of the door, Lin Fan slowly opened his eyes and asked, "Is Li Shin okay?" "Well, thanks to you. Also, can you please not be angry with Xinshin?" After hesitating for a moment, Zhang Mingqi continued to explain, "I know you risked your life to save someone and ended up being wrongly accused, which made you feel very unbalanced, but Xinshin is just like that. Do you know the ultimate feminism?" Lin Fan blinked blankly and said, "I've heard of pastoral feminism, but what is extreme feminism?" It is a derivative version of pastoral feminism. Women who are extreme feminists believe that men are useless. In the eyes of extreme feminists, men are at most tools for reproducing the next generation. Women who rely on men are pathetic. They even despise their own fathers. Therefore, they do not think that their surnames are passed down from their fathers and that they are the first generation of this surname. Lin Fan suddenly realized, and then asked, "So Li Shin took her mother's surname, which makes her feel that extreme feminism is right?" Lin Fan smiled bitterly. "You are trying to match me up with your daughter. Do you like me or hate me?" I can't bear such a person. In fact, it's not just this reason. Including me and Shasha, we all took our mother's surname and have never seen our biological father. In this environment, Shinshin's personality has changed. No father. Lin Fan suddenly had a bold guess. Could it be that the daughters of the godmothers were all born to the old man? That's how it is, so I hope you don't blame Shinshin. Aunt Rose is out there and doesn't know what's going on. Her enemies may attack Shinshin at any time. Can you please not ignore Shinshin because of this? Don't worry, even if it doesn't matter, just based on your words, I will definitely protect her. Thank you. Crunch. The door was suddenly pushed open, and a young man walked in directly, with a happy look on his face, saying, Chichi, I have good news to tell you, the bald guy you brought. At this point, the young man noticed Lin Fan sitting on Zhang Mingqi's bed, and his brows furrowed. Who is this guy? Why is he sitting on your bed? And he's not wearing any clothes. He is my friend. What's wrong with him sitting on my bed and taking a rest? Zhang Mingqi said dissatisfiedly. Of course, you are a girl, how can you let a man of unknown origin come here? It would have a bad impact if it got out. And this is a hospital, you are taking advantage of your status to disregard the hospital rules. Zhang Mingqi's face darkened and she asked, which rule did I break? If I did, you can fire me. You? Although the young man is the son of the hospital director, he really doesn't dare to fire Zhang Mingqi. Not to mention the identity of Zhang Mingqi's mother, she herself is a medical genius, and many hospitals are vying to recruit her. If Zhang Qin hadn't been in this hospital, I'm afraid Zhang Mingqi might not have chosen this place. Li Buqiao, I hope you can understand your own identity. I know that you are the son of the hospital's director, but this does not mean that you can give orders to the hospital, nor does it mean that you can manage my affairs. After seeing this scene, Lin Fan couldn't help but be shocked by Zhang Mingqi's temper. I originally thought that Zhang Mingqi was hostile to me, but now it seems that her attitude towards me is quite good. Chichi, take a day off tomorrow and go out with me. Why are you still here? Li Shan couldn't help but frown when she saw Lin Fan. Li Buqiao's eyes widened when he saw Li Shan. Only after seeing Li Shan did he understand what it meant to have long legs. This height of nearly 1 meter is half a head taller than Zhang Mingqi. The key point is that this height does not appear rigid or uncoordinated at all. The well-proportioned body makes Li Buqiao want to drool. Is this Zhang Mingqi's best friend? Birds of a feather flock together. If they were to end up in bed together. Shinshin, Lin Fan has been busy saving you until now. It's not good for you to be like this. Chichi, why are you still speaking for him? Li Shan said dissatisfiedly. I'm telling the truth. Ahem. Li. What happened to that bald guy you just mentioned? Is he awake? Li Buqiao wanted to ask what it has to do with you, but when he saw Lin Fan looking a little excited, he nodded. Yes, he's awake. He's in Ward 406. Lin Fan stood up and walked out of Zhang Mingqi's office, which made Li Buqiao very happy. As expected, the bald guy has some relationship with this boy. Now that the troublesome person is gone, I can have a good time picking up girls. Ahem, I was wrong just now. Chichi, you are going out tomorrow, right? Why don't I drive you and your friends out to play? No need, that Lin Fan is annoying, but you are even more annoying. Having said that, Li Shan directly pulled Zhang Mingqi out of the office, leaving Li Buqiao with a stunned and gloomy look on his face. Chapter 22 I'm Not a Dog. In Ward 406, Lin Fan was cutting fruit while listening to Tu Hong's summary of the situation. Looking at the fruit knife between Lin Fan's fingers that was almost torn into pieces, Tu Hong's opinion of Lin Fan became higher and higher. So the prisoner is dead. Yes, he committed suicide by taking poison. I am also responsible for what happened to the young lady. I really didn't expect that the brother who had been with me for more than 20 years would actually betray me. Why? He said his family was threatened. That's not important anymore. No matter what the reason is, he violated the gang rules. This rule cannot be abolished. As for Sister Rose, I will also go and apologize. Lin Fan thought for a moment and then said, please report to the other side. We can talk about the apology later. Now is a time when we are facing a powerful enemy. If we want to punish you, please convey my words to us. Thank you, Mr. Lin, but the gang rules. The responsibility is not yours. Under normal circumstances, Li Shan should have contacted me. Because of her willfulness, this matter has developed differently. So if you are held responsible, Li Shan will also be held responsible. So let's just forget about this matter. After thinking for a while, Lin Fan continued, have you contacted the security team yet? We have contacted them. We have already conducted a preliminary investigation into their identities and are preparing for further research. However, this is a big deal and the security team is not in a position to make a decision. They are still reporting it. If the enemy wants to harm the young lady, they probably won't use guns. They will only dare to use guns in places like airports where there aren't many people around. Otherwise, no one can bear the consequences. Tu Hong seemed to be reporting the situation to Lin Fan, but in fact he was making a request. Lin Fan certainly understood Tu Hong's meaning, but when he thought of Li Shan, he couldn't help but smile bitterly and shook his head, saying, I really want to fulfill the promise, but you know what kind of personality Li Shan has. I can only try my best. That's enough, thank you, Mr. Lin. In the evening, when Lin Fan returned home, the moment Li Shan saw Lin Fan, her brows immediately frowned. Why are you here? Li Shan frowned. Shinshan, we live together. Zhang Mingqi explained. Live together? Chichi, are you crazy? Let a man live with you. Li Shan frowned. My mother let him live here, and she's a very well-behaved person at home. Don't be so hostile to him. Are there any good things about men? Li Shan was a little anxious. He felt that the naive Zhang Mingqi was completely deceived by Lin Fan. Yeah, there's no good man. However, if it weren't for us bad guys, you would have died today. You are not homeless, so why are you staying here? Lin Fan said dissatisfiedly. Damn it, do you think I'm a bootlicker? I went through so much trouble to save you, but instead of saying thank you, you're hostile to me. My house has had its locks changed, and I didn't get a new key. Otherwise, do you think I would be here? I would have left with Shinshin a long time ago. You can't even get into their house, and you're just staying over like me, so what right do you have to control me? You? Lin Fan looked at Li Shan and Zhang Mingqi and said, what extreme feminism? I think there is something wrong with her mind. She might be a lesbian. Whether I stay away from you is another matter. You'd better stay away from her first. I'm going to fight you. Li Shan is the daughter of the big sister. She has never been ridiculed like this before. She punched Lin Fan directly. Although Li Shan had been trained by Li Maigui, her skills were no match for Lin Fan. In the blink of an eye, she was pinned to the ground by Lin Fan. I'm not your licking dog. I have no obligation to indulge your bad habits. Even if I have to be a licking dog, Chichi is gentle and cute. Wouldn't it be nice for me to lick her? Find your place clearly. Zhang Mingqi wanted to speak, and was even ready to blame Lin Fan, but after hearing what he said, she swallowed the words back. Yes, Lin Fan has no obligation to accept Li Shan's accusations. And what did Lin Fan mean by that just now? Zhang Mingqi was even a little happy at this moment, and she didn't even know why she felt happy. Snap. The door was opened, and Lu Man, who had been out shopping for a day, was surprised when he saw the scene in front of him. After coughing twice, he couldn't help but praise, not bad, Xiaofan, I like your personality very much, it's free and easy, and direct enough. Lin Fan felt embarrassed and immediately let go of Li Shan's wrist. Lu Man also came at this time. No matter how dissatisfied Li Shan was, she would not lose her composure in front of Lu Man. She just glared at Lin Fan and turned around to sit on the sofa. Xiao Shinshin, your Aunt Man hasn't seen you for a long time, come and give me a hug. Seeing Lu Man walk into the living room, Zhang Mingqi whispered, can't you be more responsible? Didn't I tell you about Shinshin's personality before? It's better to change her personality in advance, otherwise I'll be worried in the future. Besides, I just said the truth. When Zhang Mingqi mentioned what she just said, her face immediately turned red, and she said shyly, what did you just say, what did you mean by that? Lin Fan suddenly realized something was wrong. Zhang Mingqi lowered her head at this time, and Lin Fan couldn't see her expression. He thought Zhang Mingqi was a little annoyed. Although Zhang Mingqi is much gentler to me than Li Shan is to me, and even gentler than other men, I am still not off Zhang Mingqi's blacklist. I don't mean any other things if I say that I want to provoke her, so don't mind it. Oh. Zhang Mingqi's face was immediately filled with dissatisfaction. After glaring at Lin Fan, she sat directly next to Li Shin. Lin Fan scratched his head. Did Zhang Mingqi listen to his explanation or not? Never mind, at least I didn't get angry. Lin Fan knew that he couldn't interrupt the three girls' conversation. In addition to Li Shin's attitude towards him, Lin Fan didn't join in the fun. He went straight to the room and started practicing. Outside the room, Zhang Mingqi hesitated for a moment and then said, Shinshin, Lin Fan almost got into trouble at the airport today to save you, and then he almost collapsed while trying to detoxify you. Can you be nicer to him? Chichi, why are you helping outsiders? Li Shin pouted and said dissatisfiedly. Don't you understand, kid? Sixth sister has let Xiao Fan Fan live with us, so what's the point of calling her an outsider? I'm afraid sixth sister has already considered Chichi Lin Fan's wife. Aunt-man, what are you talking about? Zhang Mingqi rolled her eyes at Lu Man and then lowered her head. Li Shin couldn't help but frown. Could it be that Chichi has fallen? Probably not. Okay, I won't say any more. Xiao Shinshin, you sleep with Aunt-man tonight. But I want to sleep with Chichi. Just get out of the way. Besides, I'm afraid that if I'm not watching you, you'll secretly kill Xiao Fan Fan at night. Do you have to know? Seeing Lu Man's firm attitude, Li Shin had no choice but to nod silently. Chapter 23. You are responsible. In a high-end villa. After returning home, Li Buqiao went back to his room with a gloomy face. Li Buqiao's mother was a little surprised when she saw her son like this, and asked in confusion, what happened to Xiao Qiao? Li Buqiao's father, Li Hengyuan, shrugged and said, he always behaves like this when he encounters something unpleasant. He will come to us when he calms down. 10 minutes later, Li Buqiao threw the toilet paper in his hand into the trash can, and his expression became even gloomier. Zhang Mingqi is his woman, he must get her. As for that Lin Fan. When he thought of Lin Fan, Li Buqiao's eyes turned cold. After leaving the room, Li Buqiao went directly to the restaurant and asked unhappily, Dad, are you a shareholder of the municipal hospital? Yeah, what's wrong? Then your words should be effective in the hospital, right? Li Hengyuan suddenly realized that his son seemed to have suffered a setback in the hospital. If it was the son who wanted the hospital to treat someone, no one would disagree. After all, at most they could just deduct it from their own dividends. I think there is only one possibility: a woman. Who do you like? If not, just spend more money. We are not short of money anyway. If you don't agree, we will fire you. I'm attracted to Zhang Mingqi, do you dare to open it? Li Hengyuan was speechless for a moment. He really didn't dare to open the door for Zhang Mingqi, at least he didn't dare to do so without a legitimate reason. Otherwise, if Zhang Qing also left, the hospital's reputation would drop a lot. Besides, this mother and daughter don't need this job, so there is no point in firing them. So it's her, son, you have good taste, that little girl is really pretty, isn't she smart? It's not just unethical, it's really infuriating. Today I saw a shirtless man sitting on her bed in her office. If we don't hurry up, he might be kidnapped. I see. If the normal route doesn't work, we can try a roundabout way. Firing is one option, but if the normal route doesn't work, we still have other options. Li Buqiao was slightly stunned, then lowered his head and began to think. If being open about it doesn't work, then how about just forcing it? Son, the West has developed some special medicines that are guaranteed to make you unbearable if you use them. I'll ask a friend to help you research them. You can try to get closer to them in the next 2 days. Li Buqiao nodded, and his previous gloom disappeared. Yes, as a rich second generation, why should he pursue others? If money can't solve the problem, then use things that money can buy to solve it. Prepare 2 for me. Oh, it seems that Li Mingqi is not the only one. My son can do it. No problem, I will prepare a few more for you. It has to be said that Li Hengyuan is indeed a villain, and he has a very good grasp of the villain's characteristics. Perhaps it is because of such a father that he could cultivate a son like Li Buqiao. 3 days later, Lin Fan slowly opened his eyes. After 3 days of training, his chi had recovered a lot, but he was still some distance away from the level the old man had described. Ring, ring, ring. Lin Fan glanced at his phone and answered the call in confusion. Hello? Who is this? It's me, Zhang Hongyuan, the boss. I've arranged for my sister-in-law's benefactor to be hospitalized. I've even invited famous doctors from Zhongzhou to come over these past 2 days, but they all said that only conservative treatment is possible. The only hope is the miracle Dr. Zhang Qing, but she's not in the country right now, so. If Zhang Hongyuan hadn't made this call, Lin Fan would have already forgotten about Su Qingmor. After thinking for a while, Lin Fan said, let's do this for now. Since conservative treatment is recommended, let's do it first. Lin Fan could indeed ask Zhang Qing to see the patient, but Lin Fan felt that there was no need for that. Lin Fan only felt a sense of sympathy for Su Qingmor, and if there was a need and he was able to do it, he would not refuse to help, but this was limited to helping himself. Lin Fan always felt that it was a bit inappropriate to ask Sixth Mother for help for this kind of relationship. Okay, if you have any plans, please contact me. This is my private number, it's on 24 hours a day. Lin Fan originally wanted to refuse, but then he thought it wouldn't be bad to have a little brother like Zhang Hongyuan to help him with things. After hanging up the phone, Lin Fan opened the door and prepared to take a shower. However, the moment he pushed open the door, an extremely embarrassing yet secretly delightful accident happened. Lin Fan quickly closed the door, then looked at the time in surprise, and asked in astonishment, why are you here at this time? Chichi went to work, Shinshin and Aunt Man went out shopping. I wanted to go too, but Chichi said I had just been discharged from the hospital and needed to rest well. Lin Fan thought to himself, so that's how it is. Then you wash first, and call me later. Lin Fan said quickly, and then prepared to hide in the room like an ostrich to ease the embarrassment. No, I'm done. Soon, Kong Shasha came out in a bathrobe, her face still a little red. Did he see everything just now? It doesn't matter. It's not the first time I've been seen naked. What is the harm in seeing it again? Are you done washing? Then I'll go wash it. Just as Lin Fan was about to go into the bathroom, a small hand grabbed his wrist. You saw everything. Well, it was just an accident, and I'm a doctor. In a doctor's eyes, there is no difference between men and women. You could say that the first time, but can you still say that this time? Anyway, you saw me naked, so you have to take responsibility. Kong Shasha said with a pout. Then how do you want me to be responsible? Let me make it clear first, you can't hit my face, I'm still very satisfied with my face. If I damage it, well. Lin Fan's face was filled with shock. He was actually ambushed by Kong Shasha? But this feeling is too good. After a moment, Kong Shasha put down her heels with a red face and said shyly, I have no experience, just now I felt, okay. Lin Fan didn't say anything, but licked his lips. It was more than just okay, it was simply awesome. Seeing that Lin Fan didn't say anything, Kong Shasha's face showed disappointment, and she said aggrievedly, if you think I'm a casual woman, then forget it. How could that be? I didn't mean that. So what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Faced with such a straightforward invitation, Lin Fan would not be a man if he didn't do something. Without any hesitation, Lin Fan hugged Kong Shasha and lowered his head. Just when the two were getting passionate, footsteps suddenly sounded from outside the door. Both of them were experienced killers, and after hearing the faint voice, they knew what they were going to face. Lin Fan quickly ran into the bathroom and locked the door, while Kong Shasha quickly ran into the room. Snap. I say, girl, I really don't know what you are worried about. With Xiaofan here, how could Sasha be in danger? Lu Man said speechlessly. It's the most dangerous because of his presence. Li Shan said anxiously. Chapter 24 2 Gifts. Lin Fan in the bathroom secretly breathed a sigh of relief. If Li Shan knew that he had eaten Kong Shasha, she would probably cut herself into pieces. Although I'm not afraid of her, who knows what this crazy woman will do? Sasha, where are you? Are you being bullied? Li Shan shouted hurriedly. I'm in my room, Shinshin, why are you back so early? At this time, Kong Shasha had already changed into normal clothes. After all, she was a killer, and she changed clothes much faster than ordinary people. Shasha, that bastard didn't take advantage of you, did he? Kong Shasha couldn't help but lower her head and whispered, what are you talking about? Of course he didn't take advantage of me. In Kong Shasha's opinion, strictly speaking, she was the one who took advantage of Lin Fan just now, and afterwards it could be said that Lin Fan was going to take advantage of her, but she was interrupted by Li Shan. At this moment, Kong Shasha felt extremely shy when she thought about what happened before. She actually took the initiative like this. Did Lin Fan misunderstand her? I'm glad you're okay. You have to be careful with him. The annoying thing is that he's really good at fighting, otherwise I would have cut him to pieces. Li Shan said, gritting her teeth, as if she was still annoyed about the fact that she was taken down by Lin Fan 3 days ago without even a single fight. Lu Man noticed the blush on Kong Shasha's face and thought that this little Fan was really quick. Well, since you have nothing to do, let's continue shopping. I haven't had enough shopping yet. You know, I only have a few days off. Why, you don't want to accompany an old woman like me? No, an Ant-Man is not old. Lin Fan was speechless when he heard this in the bathroom. Wasn't the difference in Li Shan's attitude towards men and women a bit too big? Then let's go and prepare for the second battle. As for Shasha, you should rest at home. By the way, when Lin Fan comes out, say hello to him for me. Li Shan didn't think much of it. After all, Lin Fan had been locked in the room for 3 days. However, Lin Fan and Kong Shasha in the bathroom were shocked and thought to themselves, have they been discovered? Then Ant-Man, let's go. Buzz. Li Shan glanced at her phone in confusion, and when she opened the message, she couldn't help but frown, wondering, Chichi is going to have dinner with the disgusting guy I saw before. She also said that the other party wanted to apologize and hoped that I would go too. Isn't this Chichi's style? Why don't you just give him a call and find out? Kong Shasha suggested. Li Shan nodded, but the answer on the phone was a cold manual reply. Sorry, the number you dialed is powered off, sorry. It's turned off. Never mind. Let's go check it out so that Chichi won't get hurt. Li Shan sighed. I'll go with you. Kong Shasha said. I'm going too. In Lu Man's opinion, Zhang Minqi was identified by Sixth Sister as Lin Fan's woman. She wanted to see which ignorant bastard dared to snatch her godson's woman. Inside the car, Zhang Minqi looked at her phone and waited silently. She knew that if she just sent a message, Li Shan would definitely be suspicious and would call her directly to question her. Li Shan naturally knew what Li Buqiao thought of her, but she didn't like Li Buqiao, and even hated him a little. However, it would be difficult for her to say these words directly. After all, she and Li Shan had very different personalities. And if Li Shan called him, she would definitely say something sarcastic about Li Buqiao. He could take this opportunity to say that he didn't like Li Buqiao, or even that they would never be together forever. However, after waiting for 3 hours, Li Shan still didn't call back, and Zhang Minqi couldn't help but feel anxious. Could it be that Li Shan didn't look at her phone, or that her phone was out of battery? You must see it. Li Buqiao on the side couldn't help but smile. He was originally wondering how to implement his plan if Zhang Minqi called, but her best friend refused and Zhang Minqi did not show up. Now it seems that Zhang Minqi indirectly helped him. Just make sure she sends the text message. If she receives any text message or call at that time, he loses. Is your friend coming? Li Buqiao asked pretentiously. Of course, she has replied to me. At this moment, Zhang Minqi didn't know whether Li Shan had seen the text message or not, but if she didn't say anything at this time, what if Li Buqiao did something bad to her? He is not like Li Shan and Kong Shasha who have the skills to deal with Li Buqiao. Li Buqiao laughed secretly in his heart. Do you think my shielding device is just for decoration? After it is turned on, except for those 3 special numbers, you can communicate with anyone else. It means I am not prepared enough. That's good. It seems that there was some misunderstanding between her and me before. Now we can resolve it together. 10 minutes later, their car slowly stopped in front of a hotel. After arriving at the box, Zhang Minqi's cell phone started ringing continuously. Missed call, Li Shan. Text message Li Shan, Chichi, how could you be invited to dinner? That man is not a good guy at first glance, even worse than Lin Fan. Text message to Li Shan, why is your phone turned off? I'm so worried. Sasha, Ant-Man and I will go there right now. Text message Li Shan, we have already set off, Chichi, haven't you charged your phone yet? Shared power banks are everywhere, right? Text message to Li Shan, turn on your phone and call me first, we are almost there. Zhang Minqi was speechless. Why didn't she answer the call just now? This broken phone really needs to be replaced. Foreign phones are really unreliable. I should consider buying a domestic phone. What's wrong? You look a little unhappy. Nothing. That's good. I've asked the hotel to sober up. When will your friend arrive? She. Buzz. Text message to Lishan, we have arrived, tell me the private room, if you don't reply to me then something bad will happen, I must turn this crappy hotel upside down. Zhang Wenqi sighed helplessly and dialed the number directly. Hello? Chichi, why did you turn on your phone just now? After the call was connected, Lishan's dissatisfied tone came out directly. I don't know what happened. My phone has been charged, but I just received your message now. What brand of crappy phone is that? I'll have my mom teach them a lesson later. Never mind, just tell me the room number and we'll go there right away. If that kid dares not behave himself, we'll just cut him into pieces. Since everyone was already there, Zhang Wenqi couldn't expect Lishan to act anymore, so she had to give out the room number. When the three women came, Li Buchao's eyes widened instantly. In addition to the leg gifts from last time, there were actually two more gifts, one big and one small. The older one looks to be in her 30s, but she's very attractive. The younger one, well, she's no worse than Zhang Wenqi. Chapter 25, Collective Attack. Are you all Kiki's friends? Then please come in quickly. I have already arranged the dishes. Li Buchao said very gentlemanly. If he were an ordinary person, he would probably be attracted by Li Buchao, but unfortunately, none of the people present were simple characters. Who wants to eat? Also, don't think that you are a gentleman just because you are well dressed. I just came back from Harvard. I have seen all kinds of aristocrats. Lishan said very impolitely. Kong Shasha was laughing secretly on the side. This guy was so unlucky that Lishan actually disliked him. Given Lishan's personality, this guy was very generous not to be scolded and cry. Lu Man looked at Lishan with admiration. She is indeed a daughter. I like her temper. But if she and Xiao Fanfan become a couple, will my dear son be bullied? Looks like it's time to have a call. A trace of embarrassment flashed across Li Buchao's face, and he said, this lady is really quick-witted. You are the lady, if you can speak, speak. If you can't, get out. Li Buchao secretly gritted his teeth and thought to himself, I let you bark now, later I will make you beg me like a dog. Yes, I said the wrong thing. What do you want to take? Let's talk while we eat. For the sake of his own plan, Li Buchao suppressed his anger and smiled. I'm not interested. Also, don't bother Chichi anymore, otherwise. Snap. As the sound of a teacup breaking was heard, several people present looked over, only to find that Zhang Wenqi was now lying weakly on the table with a look of luck on her face. Li Buchao was delighted, it seemed the medicine had taken effect. Chichi, what's wrong with you? Lishan hurriedly ran towards Zhang Wenqi, and Kong Shasha also realized that something was wrong, and she flashed in front of Li Buchao, ready to take action at any time. I'm so hot. Hot? Could it be that? Lishan glanced at the teacup on the ground, then shouted angrily, you actually tampered with the tea, hand over the antidote immediately. What antidote? I don't understand what you are saying. Li Buchao shrugged. You? Lishan was about to take action when her legs went limp and she had to sit on the ground. Lishan was dumbfounded. She didn't drink any tea, so how could? Shinshin, what's wrong with you? Kong Shasha was startled. When she was about to step forward, she found that Lu Man beside her had also fallen to the ground, and her body also began to show abnormalities. Har, I finally waited until you all saw the effects. Do you really think I have so much free time to have dinner with you? Li Buchao laughed wildly. What did you do? Lishan was now completely exhausted and no longer had the arrogance she had before. She asked weakly. Nothing. Do you really think I would add something to the food? After you come in, every breath of air you breathe contains this drug. For me, I am not afraid of any of you. As he spoke, Li Buchao slowly walked towards the four people with a sly smile. Bang! At the critical moment, a figure kicked the door open directly, and when he saw the scene in front of him, he couldn't help but frowned. Xiao Fanfan, there is something in this air. Before Lu Man could finish his words, all the strength in his body seemed to be drained away, and he fell to the ground weakly. Lin Fan immediately realized where this uncomfortable feeling came from, and quickly tapped his body a few times to stop breathing into his body. Then he suddenly flashed in front of Li Buchao, grabbed his neck and said in a deep voice, take out the antidote, don't tell me that you are fine because of your special physique. I didn't. Li Buchao's neck was held tightly, and he spoke with great difficulty. Lin Fan's eyes turned cold, and he tightened his grip on Li Buqiao's neck. Really, I just need to keep myself awake, nothing else matters. Lin Fan frowned. It looked like Li Buqiao really didn't bring any other copies. Bang! With a chopped hand, Li Buqiao fell unconscious to the ground. After quickly opening the window, Lin Fan ran over to inquire about the situation. At this time, Zhang Mingqi, who was the most poisoned, had lost her mind and hugged Lin Fan directly, gasping for breath. If it was just Zhang Mingqi and Kong Xiaoxia, Lin Fan wouldn't mind doing something that was morally unacceptable but something he was happy to do, but forget about Li Shan, otherwise wouldn't he really cut himself at that time? And Qimar was also infected. Does that mean she has to use this method to solve the problem as well? After sighing, Lin Fan took out the silver needle and stabbed it into the back of Zhang Mingqi's neck. Zhang Mingqi lost consciousness and slowly collapsed to the ground. You did, what? Li Shan asked reluctantly. Save you, what else can I do? Lin Fan gave Li Shan a speechless look. Does she think that he and Li Buqiao are the same kind of people? After hearing this, Lu Man was the first to breathe a sigh of relief. These 3 children were easy to deal with, but did he also have to follow Lin Fan? That's too much. Lin Fan quickly inserted a needle into the acupuncture points of the 3 people, and then began to concentrate on detoxifying the 4 people. Half an hour later, the condition of the 4 people finally improved. Li Shan stood up with difficulty. When Lin Fan was about to remind her that she had not fully recovered yet, Li Shan raised her legs and stomped towards Li Buqiao's brothers. Lin Fan felt his scalp tingling. This elder sister was really bold in what she said and what she did. After feeling severe pain, the unconscious Li Buqiao was suddenly awakened by the pain, and then he couldn't help but let out a scream. Li Shan had no intention of stopping. Although she was a little exhausted, she still used the last of her strength to hammer Li Buqiao. Li Buqiao kept screaming, and his screams attracted the attention of the hotel staff outside the box. What are you doing? After seeing the scene in the room, the lobby manager couldn't help but ask with a frown. It's none of your business what we do. Our young master Lin doesn't need to explain anything to anyone. A proud voice suddenly came in. The lobby manager frowned slightly, wondering who was so arrogant. However, when he turned around and saw the person coming, the annoyance on his face disappeared instantly. It's Boss 2. What brings you here? The lobby manager said quickly with a flattering look on his face. He had to treat Tu Hong well. After all, he had to be polite to even his boss. What wind? A typhoon. You are so capable, but you are helping a little bastard to take advantage of our young lady. Do you want to quit your hotel? Tu Hong asked with a sullen face. The lobby manager was stunned. He just heard the boss asking him to help Li Buqiao. He didn't expect the implications would be so serious. This. Boss 2, I don't know. Ignorance is not a crime. Look. Tu Hong ignored the lobby manager and walked straight to Lin Fan and asked, Mr. Lin, what should we do next? Should we arrest the hotel owner as well? Chapter 26, School. After thinking about it, Lin Fan couldn't help but nodded. No matter what, the hotel was an accomplice and it deserved to be taught a lesson. This matter. I'll take care of this matter. It's been so many years, and I was tricked by a little brat. No one has dared to touch me for so many years. Lu Man stood up and said with a gloomy face. Tu Hong then noticed Lu Man's figure and hurriedly said respectfully, Boss Lu is here too. I am so sorry for the disrespect. Lu Man, Li Maigui and the other 7 people were like sisters. Tu Hong had naturally met them all. Li Maigui had proposed that the other sisters should become elders of her gang, but it was not carried out due to the inconvenience of various identities. However, the title remained. Help me check this kid's background. I want all the information before tomorrow morning. Yes. At this moment, Lu Man no longer had the feeling of a child who never grew up, and his whole body exuded the aura of a superior who was majestic without being angry. Qimar is angry. Lin Fan knew that Qimar was going to use drastic measures. Xiao Fan, take them back first, I'll take care of the rest. Lin Fan nodded, took the car keys handed over by Lu Man, and drove away slowly in the Bentley with the 4 girls. On the way, the atmosphere in the car was extremely awkward. Zhang Mingqi recalled the scenes in which she had taken the initiative to hug Lin Fan and even asked for a kiss. Her face felt like it was on fire. This is the first time I feel so embarrassed, and in front of Lin Fan. Kong Shasha was not much better. Her initiative at noon had already made her feel a little embarrassed to see Lin Fan, and she was also the only one who couldn't help making a sound during the treatment, which made her feel even more embarrassed. Li Shan was actually better than the other two. She was more annoyed than shy at this moment. She really couldn't understand how such a disgusting person could exist. At the same time, her opinion of Lin Fan had changed a little. Of course, this change has nothing to do with love between men and women. At best, it is a bit of gratitude. Although she is an extreme feminist, she simply looks down on men. It doesn't mean that she doesn't know how to be grateful. But when asked to express her gratitude to Lin Fan, she really couldn't say it. But the three girls didn't know that the most embarrassing thing was not happening in the car. Lu Man wanted to handle it personally, partly because she was annoyed, and partly because she was very embarrassed at the moment. She was the godmother, and she almost got tricked in front of her godson. If her godson didn't have some medical skills, she would have lost her reputation in her later years. It was for this reason that Lu Man asked Lin Fan to take the three girls back first. She also needed some time to resolve the embarrassment in her heart. There was no conversation along the way. After returning home, the three girls returned to their rooms tacitly. Lin Fan didn't care either. After taking a shower, he also returned to his room. The next morning, there was a small shock in Lingyun City. One of the directors of the city hospital was found to have problems and was arrested directly. The companies under his name also suffered a fierce attack the moment the stock market opened. In addition, the news of the arrest was released early in the morning, and the company was on the verge of bankruptcy in just one morning. The bank also received the notice and directly filed a lawsuit in the form of debt collection. Although it is a civil case, it is not a bad idea to put it on the shelf first. Li Hengyuan never dreamed that his indulgence of his son would lead to provoking such a behemoth. After finishing these things, Lu Man left Lingyun directly, and only sent a text message before leaving. This incident seemed to have not caused any splash, but it caused quite a stir in the upper-class society. After all, Li Hengyuan is a big boss worth tens of billions, so it is definitely not normal for such a situation to occur suddenly. After learning the truth, everyone couldn't help but sigh that Li Hengyuan was really courting death. Why did he pick on Lu Man, the famous witch? At the same time, a question arose in everyone's mind: why did Lu Man come to Lingyun? Some people did get some information through special channels. When they learned that Lin Fan was Lu Man's godson and was called Young Master Lin by Tu Hong, they began to have doubts. Could it be that Lin Fan is that person's successor? 2 days later, Xu Miayan had already communicated with the school, and Li Shan's transfer procedures had been completely processed. What Lin Fan didn't expect was that Xu Miayan brought not just one set of documents, but 3. Chichi, your mother has contacted me. She said she hopes you can continue to study for a doctorate. As for Xiefan, I have already helped you get a special admission to the Master of Business Administration. You are now a special admission student of Lingyun University. When the time comes, study hard in school. Only then will third mother be assured of handing over all the business to you. Going to school. Lin Fan has never been to school, let alone experienced school life. But the old man always said that there were many beautiful girls in the school, so Lin Fan did not resist and nodded in agreement. Aunt Yun, what about me? Kong Shasha pointed at herself, like a forgotten child. Fourth sister told me that she wants you to go back to Dark Knight Island to take charge of the situation. You will take the flight tonight. You can come back after she finishes the things at hand. Oh. Kong Shasha couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. If this happened, she wouldn't be able to meet Lin Fan. Okay, you will report to school on time tomorrow morning. If you have any questions, you can contact me and I will help you communicate. The matter was decided. After Xu Miayan left, Kong Shasha couldn't help but hold Zhang Minqi and Li Shan's hands. It's okay, Sasha, it's only temporary. My mom and Aunt Yao will be done with their work soon, and then you can come back. Li Shan comforted. Well, you must miss me then. Kong Shasha seemed to be talking to Li Shan and Zhang Minqi, but in fact she was talking to Lin Fan. In the evening, Kong Shasha was sent to the airport. After saying goodbye to the two girls, Kong Shasha pulled Lin Fan aside. After making sure that Zhang Minqi and Lin Shan couldn't see, Zhang Minqi stood on tiptoe and kissed Lin Fan on the lips. Although it was just a light kiss, it still gave Lin Fan quite a shock. I don't know how other people feel about you, but I like you, so. Kong Shasha pouted shyly for a moment and continued, so you have to miss me after I leave. After saying that, Kong Shasha covered her face and ran to the security check, then took a plane to leave Lingyun City. What does Sasha want to talk to you about? Zhang Mingqi asked curiously on the way. Nothing, just thank you for what happened today. Kong Shasha didn't break up in public because she didn't want to make it public. And if Li Shan knew about it, who knows what this violent girl would do? Are you going to school tomorrow? I really don't know what the school is like. Is it as full of beautiful girls as the old man said? At this time, Lin Fan didn't know that after a day of fermentation, the news that Xu Miayan arranged a school for Lin Fan finally became a hot topic among a small group of people. Chapter 27, Touching Porcelain. It's true. As expected, Lin Fan is that person's successor. Even if he is not a son, he is at least a disciple or something. Apart from anything else, the problem can be seen from the attitudes of Xu Miayan, Lu Man and Li Maigui. Some people even learned that He Menjing and Mai Qingwu had also been to Lingyun City in recent days, which was enough to prove that Lin Fan's identity was extraordinary. Go call Xia Xian over, there is an important matter for her to entrust. An old man in Sikong's house gave the order directly. Yes, father. Soon, Sikong Xian was brought over. Grandpa, my father said you were looking for me, what's the matter? Big thing, remember what I told you before. If necessary, I need you to get close to someone. It would be even better if we can be together. Remember, that person showed up. Sikong Xian asked. That's right, if she shows up, go get close to her. If you can really become her girlfriend and bring benefits to our Sikong family, I will agree to Xiaohao becoming the young master of the Sikong family. Sikong Xian hesitated for a moment and then nodded. Sikong Xian knew that she came from a wealthy family and that her future was not something she could control. If sacrificing my own happiness can allow my younger brother to become the young master of the family, this is also a good choice. I understand, Grandpa, I'll find a way. Well, you will have plenty of competition, and there will even be people who are worse than you. How you succeed in getting to the top depends on your ability. Yes. Shin family. Sure enough, now it seems that this Lin Fan is the successor of Master Lin. Xiaoqing, it's up to you. But. No buts. Do you know how many people wanted to get in touch with Master Lin but had no way to do so? All right. Guangfu family. Dad, are you sure that this Lin Fan is the descendant of Master Lin? Of course, I used my long-treasured wine to get this information from the dean of Lingyun University. It is absolutely correct. Wang Fuyi nodded, glanced at his two daughters, and was embarrassed for a moment. Xiaoyi, what's with that expression on your face? Even your daughter has no objection to this matter. Do you want to say that you disagree? Wang Fuxiong asked dissatisfiedly. That's not the case. It's just that our Huangfu family is in decline now. People may not look down on us. Wang Fuxiong smiled evilly and said, this is the advantage of having twins. Morning and evening, you two will come together. You won't blame Grandpa, right? Huang Fu Chao Chao and Huang Fu Miu Miu did not resist at all, obviously they had been brainwashed by Huang Fuxiong since childhood. It's okay. My sister and I have long said that we want to be a Wang and Vying and stay together forever. Huang Fu Miu Miu said with a smile. That's good. I've already arranged for your transfer to the same department as Lin Fan. You can try to get in touch with Lin Fan when the time comes. Lin Fan didn't know that Lingyun City had even become turbulent just because of his appearance. He could not have imagined that the lecherous old man who only knew how to tease widows would have such a great impact on him. If he knew that he was such a popular person, he would probably leave directly at this moment, at least he would not have to look at Li Shan's face. Of course, although Li Shan didn't give Lin Fan a very good look, she has changed a lot from before. In the past, Li Shan would definitely make sarcastic remarks when she saw Lin Fan. Although she has a cold face now, at least some simple communication can be carried out. The next morning, when Lin Fan got up, he found that he was the only one left at home. From the note on the table, Lin Fan learned that Zhang Mingqi and Li Shan had already gone to the college. Are you just guarding against me like this? I'm supposed to protect them, but why do I feel like they're looking for someone to protect them just to protect me? Whatever, the Japanese don't dare to mess with Chinese products anymore, so let them do as they please. Lin Fan went to the breakfast shop opposite, ordered a tray of buns and a bowl of porridge, and started eating. Squeak. Following the harsh sound of the wheels rubbing against the ground, Lin Fan couldn't help but look over curiously. It hurts. It hurts so much. An old man was rolling on the ground with a look of pain on his face. A beautiful girl came out of a Porsche 911 in front of the old man. A look of fear appeared on the girl's face. She said timidly, "Old man, are you okay? Do I look all right? Ouch, my elbow. Ouch, my groin. Ouch, my lumbar spine." After hearing this, Lin Fan almost spit out the porridge in his mouth. This skit's lines were memoized quite well. At this moment, a man in the porridge shop stood up and ran out quickly. "Dad, are you okay? You little bitch, you actually hit my dad with your car? If you don't take the money, this matter will not end. Let's send the old man to the hospital for a checkup first. I will definitely compensate you if anything happens," Sikong Xian said hurriedly. "Compensation? Then you pay it. Don't think I don't know the tricks of you rich people. When we get to the hospital, you will say it has nothing to do with you. My dad fell down by himself, and the pain in his body is all due to old age. Hurry up and pay it." Sikong Xian gritted her teeth and said in embarrassment, "Well, I'll give you money. Here's the money. This is all the cash I have. Look." The man's face darkened, and he gritted his teeth and said, "My dad got hit like this by you, and you want to let it go? Are you going to send the beggar away? Then, how much do you want? I won't do it for even a penny less. At worst I can just call the police. I want to see if there is still any law," the man said arrogantly. "Don't worry, brother. I've already called the police. I can't stand any evil. Don't thank me. I'm a kind-hearted person." As a voice sounded, the man was stunned. What the hell, there are still such enthusiastic people in this day and age. Are they really looking for a law enforcer? This, little brother, we are still in the negotiation stage. Why are you looking for the law enforcer? You are right, so what are you afraid of? There are surveillance cameras here. The scene just now must have been recorded clearly. We can immediately determine who is right and who is wrong. But the camera is broken. After the man finished speaking, he suddenly realized something was wrong and froze there. The surveillance is broken. You know this? You have checked the location many times, right? Lin Fan said with a disdainful smile. Beep, beep. As their voice sounded, the man suddenly panicked and ran away quickly. The old man on the ground suddenly jumped up and yelled in the direction the man left, "You little bastard, you don't care about me anymore." Wow. Old man is so awesome. Most young people can't even stand up like this, Lin Fan said sarcastically. At this point, there is no need to say more about who is right and who is wrong.